Hello, people. How we doing? Welcome to the after party. Thank you, those that are on their way, coming, whatever the case. Let me go ahead and drop the link in here for those that want to join. In here for those. Let me also mute myself. There we go. I see we got Stanley here already. Fantastic. Anyway, how we doing, folks? So this is the 21090 after party. Welcome, welcome. We're just continuing the conversation that Annie and Todd did such a great job over there at 21090. Loved the idea. Thought about it a lot over the weekend. I tell you, this is a lot harder than I thought it'd be. Picking only 5 albums that you think are perfect albums, yeah, that's tough. Yeah, it took a lot of thinking. So I guess we'll go ahead and start while we wait on Stanley to pop in here. I know he's got a bunch to say for sure. So I'll start with mine. My 5 perfect albums. You know, I know Andy had an issue with me saying that he picked the wrong album when I said that Black is the wrong album from Metallica. I want to be clear, I love Metallica. I think anybody that has watched 21090 and seen me on there knows that, or anybody that watches my channel knows that. Love Metallica, but my issue with Black is not that it was a commercial success. I have no problem with that. I love to see bands that I love do well. So that was not my issue. It's just I feel like with Black, it got softer and too soft for me. It was stepping away from what I loved about Metallica. And sure, you know, and as Andy said, there was certainly stuff where we got man himself. Let me change the layout here so we look better. There we go. Stanley from the Mash Bill, welcome, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, yeah, thanks. I don't know, changing the layout made me look any better, but okay.
Yeah, so I'll just continue my thought there. So, yeah, so my issue with the Black Album was not the commercial success. Don't care about that. That's fine. Love to see bands that I love do well. I just thought the sound was softer than I was used to. It was not what I wanted from Metallica. There's certainly some harder songs on there, but you know, I mean, me and you, we've talked about this a lot before. You know, Lightning, Mass Puppets, Justice, and Kill 'Em All. Those are my favorite 4, always will be. And then, you know, Black is kind of a nice addition to that. So for me, if I had to pick one Metallica album, since we're only picking 5, I could just pick 5 Metallica albums, but I need a little variety in life. So I'm going with Justice for all the reasons I've talked about before, because that was the first metal album I ever heard in my life. And it changed the way I viewed music, basically. I mean, it changed my trajectory in music, what I listened to. You know, and I mean, from the first time I heard Blackened, it's just, yeah, it like blew my mind. So that I know there's some nostalgia there. To be fair, it would, because I was going through the tracks, and it was really hard for me to choose between Lightning and Justice. Both of those are so close, neck and neck. Oh, sorry, folks. For me, I could go either way, but just for memory reasons, I got to go with Justice as my first pick. Yeah, so first of my 5 perfect albums, got to go with Injustice for All from Metallica. And of course, if you're going to pair it, then you got to go with Blackened. I got a store pick, cast strength. So, yeah. Now, Stanley, I know you got a few. You threw them in chat there.
Yeah. The absolute perfect. Okay. So, the absolute perfect album. So, everybody's like, you know, metal, whatever. I'm across like, you know, all genres. But my absolute perfect freaking album is Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd.
Oh, well, that's a hell of a choice. Yeah,
that's literally to me, that is the greatest. That is literally the.
We got Todd.
Yeah. Great. See, because like when it was like, okay, so nothing against Todd or Andy in there, but they stuck to hair metal, which is cool. Which what tripped me out was that they never mentioned the one, like I kept on saying it in the chat, the one hair metal album that if you listen to every single song, you can sing along with it, and not just you. A lot of people can. Is Poison? Look what the cat dragged.
So that came up big time. We were debating which Poison album to put in there.
Well, because if you so you got Look What the Cat Dragged In, but if you go to Open Up and Say Ah, if you go to you keep on going from there, there's songs, but there's not. You can't go other than Back to the Rocking Horse on Open Up and Say Ah and Fallen Angel.
Yep.
There's a lot of stinkers on that album. I'm sorry to say.
There are, right. And so that was the problem. Like we were trying to do like 1 through. And listen, there's always going to be some that are debatable, right?
Oh
yeah, there always is. So
it's just like he said with the Black Album. I agree with them on it. I mean, if I was going to say, okay, I made a comment that the first 4 albums by Metallica are perfect albums. And I had paired them up as BTAC 2021 because there was only 4.
That's good. Yeah. What's up, David?
Hey, David. Good to see you, man.
But song for song, you can take any one of those 4 albums, song for song, put them up against any other Metallica album.
Hey, we got the whole crew now. All right.
And a lot of other a lot of albums outside of Metallica. You can take any of the 4 albums, song for song, and those 4 albums kill.
I agree with you. Here's what I want. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Real quick. So I don't know if Andy, if you heard what my argument actually was against Black. Okay. So it's not the commercial success. I have no issue with that.
Well, it's a great album.
And it is a great album. It's just that for me, I mean, I love to see my bands that I love do well. So the commercial success not a problem for me. It's not the Kurt Cobain kind of thing. For me, it's just that Metallica was clearly starting to head in that more commercial, softer direction, and that's not what I wanted. I appreciate that appeals to a bigger crowd, and there was something for everybody, all that kind of stuff. It's just that's not what I mean. Like Stanley just said, the first 4 albums are kind of like the holy grail for me, and so when they started to get away from that, I was like, I mean, it's still good. It's still a solid album. It's just that
So my pushback would be. Yeah. Unforgiven and Nothing Else Matters are the 2 slow songs off of Black. Are they bad songs?
No, not at
all. So outside of that, everything else is a heavy, good riff.
I think the production is different on Black Album than it is on other. I think that's the point here. The production's different, right? Is that we agree with that? The production's
overture that you're used to. Look, I love Sanitarium is my favorite song.
Cheers, Eric.
Yeah.
It's not that type of radio-friendly song. They took what was actually the Leopard formula, take the long, drawn-out songs of Zeppelin, the hooks of Queen, pull them together, make them something that's under 5 minutes, and make them friendly. And it's still a good song. It's just shorter, and it's great. Yeah. I think that's what made it so appealing.
Oh, no, believe me, I love the Black Album. Okay, that's the last. I mean,
and
they've only
made. I want to be clear. I like the Black Album. I'm not shitting on it. So that's not a bad album. I like
it. I just think start to finish, that is just so, and there's heaviness in how iconic some of those songs were too. You said Poison. I love Poison. They're a great band, but even Look What the Cat Dragged In. I mean, what, number 1 Bad Boy and Blame It On You are not. They're filler songs.
I might like Flesh and Blood. A little bit better. Flesh and Blood is a fantastic album, and that doesn't have CC on it. CC's not even on Flesh and Blood.
I mean, there's a lot of Poison songs I like, but I mean, there's other. Okay. There is one other album that I did not mention in the chat or anything else that I think, truthfully, is one of the greatest albums I've ever written front to back, and that's 5-Man Acoustical Jam by Tesla.
Oh yeah.
No argument, sir. No argument.
That's a great point. What?
Great.
Hell yes. Yes.
We actually missed that. That's fantastic.
That's why
because Mechanical Resonance is also a freaking awesome album. A lot of stuff that
Tesla's underrated because they're a band that didn't really have a genre either. I think that's why they fit so well with Leopard. Got placed in that hair metal because of their success, but they're not hair metal. Neither was Tesla, but they never hit the success that Leopard had. So the 2 of them, when they toured together in '87 and '88, made perfect sense. They're a good match.
Yeah.
And Steve Clark was actually really close with the guys in Tesla. They wrote Song in Motion about Steve
Real
Clark.
quick, I put in the chat. What is everybody drinking? Real quick, I'm just curious.
Well,
what do you
so
got?
I was about. I'm going to start drinking as soon as I announce my second album.
Oh, okay.
So,
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Your
So
show.
because I was gonna you're fine, Todd. No need to apologize.
So Andy, just so you know, his first album was Boys to Men, Motown Philly.
Yeah, that's
yes.
you got me.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I like that album. So
I mean, actually, if we're being honest, when I was about I don't know, what was it, 7 or 8, I played the crap out of that song and danced to it. I will admit it freely. But then Metallica came along and changed my life. So,
can we say though how great Sean was as Slash? You've done that before. You have to have done that before.
No,
right?
Actually, I've never done that before.
Because you even sound like him. Like he has that. Yeah.
So here's what I did. I watched a bunch of Slash interviews and did my best impersonation of Slash.
He has that sort of very curt, monotone, sort of like short. You were like that. It was perfect. It was perfect.
All you needed was the purple tongue, and it would have been for you.
Oh man, it was so good.
I had a great time doing it, man. Yeah.
So Andy, I don't know if Todd heard either, but his first album was
I didn't hear it. I heard you talking about Magic.
Sorry, Injustice for All, and my first album was Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh
yeah,
I'm not a huge. I'm not a great. I can't tell you, Andy. You're with us. We're not huge Pink Floyd fans. I couldn't tell you.
I wouldn't be able to tell you what was filler on Dark Side of the Moon because I don't know enough songs on.
Well,
Sean,
I mean,
Sean was great, right? Sean was so good. It was so good.
Thank you, David. Appreciate that. And also drinking Larceny Barrel Proof C921 and B522.
How is the B522, David? I'm curious. Have you had anybody had the B522 yet, Larceny? Sean, I know you weren't a huge fan of A122, but I'm curious with B522.
Okay, so that's grown on me. The A122.
All right, good.
Yeah. I haven't seen a B522.
Neither have we.
So
have you, Andy?
Nope.
Stanley, have you seen a Larceny B522?
Only in my dreams.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm telling you. And so when we were, I don't know if you guys know, but a bunch of the fellows, Whiskey Tube guys, were up in Bardstown over the weekend. It was me, Bourbon.
I saw you. Yeah.
Mark from Northwest Bourbon, his crew, Whiskey Food Dude, Paul. So we were all just going around.
Did you do a video from that?
What's that?
Did you do a video of it?
Not yet. No, I'm going to do probably a Patreon only thing on that, just kind of what we did and hunting and stuff, what I found.
Did you see how Todd did that thing again with his fingers? And actually Sean mimicked that in the video.
You lipped your licks. I do.
You know what?
Yeah, I had to get them.
Spot on.
We saw that. We noticed that. Yeah, sorry. I loved it. All right, sorry. What's up, Todd? I love another Todd in the chat. I love that. Todd's cool.
But no, we hunted a lot and did not find a B522. So I don't know if they're just not out yet. And I was looking for both ECBP and Larceny.
Listen,
didn't find either one.
It's good. It's very good. It's very approachable. Is that what you want? It doesn't wow me. The flavor explosion's not there. I don't know what to say about.
I don't even know if that's the case. I think, and I haven't tried it yet, but I think the problem is I think it's getting oversaturated. I think 3 times a year is just too much. I mean, I think.
You know what I wonder about, Andy? Kind of along that same line of thought is if all these private barrel selections aren't hurting.
I think
what's available.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think you're right, but you got to think about this: 3 times a year, even 4 years ago, is different than it is now. Every year, more and more good, accessible bourbon and whiskey is available for people to drink.
Yeah.
So this allure of paying, hey, we've got a $70 bourbon that's fantastic. We're doing it 3 times a year. Well, you know what? It's just not that exciting anymore because there's so many more things out there. I think it's overplayed. I think it's a problem.
And I also wonder if Heaven Hill isn't trying to put out more quantity-wise to, reach the demand. And so, therefore, that's also cutting into a bunch more barrels that they would not have used, say, 3-4 years ago. So I think just overall, they're putting out a lot more, and so we're not getting quite the quality that we're used to. It seems like, anyway. So, I don't know. Yeah. So you guys are the second ones to basically say that. I mean, Jason Mash and Drum, his review was basically the same deal, that it's.
We haven't even reviewed it yet. It's only me.
Yeah.
It seems to me that the ECBPs over the last, say, 3 or 4 years, there's been one hitter, one meh, and one almost. I'll not say shitter, but it's not even meh. It's like, oh, okay. Now I have the collection for this year, but I'm glad I got that seat. I'm glad I got that C920, freaking stuff like that. It's like, because that's why now it's just I wait till somebody sends me a sample. I'm like, oh yeah, I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and buy the bottle. I think the last one I bought was a private barrel.
Eric is 100%. Highlight Eric's comment. I'm 100% in agreement with that. I mean, listen, I paid.
That's the correct comment. That's right.
Oh, jeez. Andy's got control of our account. Great. Andy has control of our account. Bourbon chick collecting water bottles from a dumpster carrying
Love
her
it.
baby.
Love it. That's just how we do here in Kentucky, No, we don't.
But Eric, I agree with you. I think, listen, I don't think it's a bad whiskey. I think it's very good. But I paid like $74 for it, and it's good. I don't think it's wowed me at all. The finish drops off very quick. It doesn't have a flavor explosion to me. I think it's very approachable. I think it's sweet too. It's not what I thought would. I'm not love. I mean, listen, it's not wowing me.
Well, it doesn't stand out from all the other.
Right.
There's just too much of it now. I mean, it's just. I think about this as far as expensive bourbon. When's the last time you bought 9 of a particular bottle within a 3-year span?
Yeah,
because you had to.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
that's a lot to just take and drink and kick back. I mean, and then have it being that differentiated.
Hold on. Stanley, do you buy every one? Stanley, do you get every ECB that comes out that you get across? Do you buy it no matter what?
No, actually, like I said, I now when I was first like FOMO'd, I would grab everything that I could that everybody said I should have.
Right.
But I've gotten over the past couple of years, I've gotten like.
You're like Andy.
What I like to do is I go places, and when I go hunting, I'll find like a C518 or
something really old,
or some of the older ones, and I'll be like, well, nobody's ever said if this is good or not, and I'll find them for retail or even less sometimes because some of these stores out here will have like 3 or 4 of them. They'll be like, oh well, if you take 2 of them, I'll give them to you for $50 a piece. Okay, cool. I'll take 2 of them.
Man,
I'll
give
somebody a bottle.
Some dusty ECBPs.
Yeah. Hold on. We never said what everybody's drinking. So, Sean, what are you drinking?
Okay, yeah. So, first off, next My Perfect album. I got to go. Pantera, Cowboys from Hell.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking love that album.
My 6-year-old.
You like that over Vulgar Display of Power?
I do like it better.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I like both, but I'm going for diversity here as far as bands, because I could pick like a bunch of Pantera albums, I could pick a bunch of Metallica albums, but I wanted to
Sean
get a little
NASCAR
bit of,
this past weekend. I don't know if you watched the race.
I did not. No.
Okay, whatever. They played the beginning to Respect in their intros and outros. Are certainly and my 6-year-old son jumped up and it's like, whoa,
exactly.
What is that?
That's like, what Pantera does.
Yes, that's my boy. Because he's my little rocker. He's my 6-year-old rocker. He loves rock and roll. He's like, what is that, Dad? I'm like, that's a band called Pantera. He just heard the riff.
Do you want a beer, Pantera? Is that cheer?
I'm like,
Pantera?
You're my boy, dude. You're my boy. I got to get you a guitar or drum or something like that. Anyway.
I mean, so I'm just going to real quick. I'm not going to play them all. I'm just going to run down the track list. Cowboys from Hell, obviously. That's the kickoff track. And as soon as, that's just, I love that song. It's still one of my favorite metal songs of all time. I could listen to it 1,000 times a day and be fine.
It's that opening riff that no matter, even if you're not a Pantera fan, the opening riff to Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah. But then Primal Concrete Sludge, I love that song. Psycho Holiday, Heresy, Cemetery Gates, Domination. I love Domination so much. Shattered, Clash with the Reality, Medicine Man, Message in Blood, The Sleep, and The Art of Shredding, which is just Dime going freaking nuts.
Andy, who did you see? You saw Pantera live, didn't you?
I saw Pantera with Sepultura and Biohazard.
I do though, because my feet get burnt, and I can't do anything about
it. I can say this. I thought Pantera was fantastic.
I never saw him live.
Biohazard was actually decent. I didn't think they were bad. Sepultura came out. They had these mummies that were hung upside down.
Yeah.
Like just from a backdrop and like some, blood going all over these things. And the lead singer comes out and is like, Baltimore, worship your Lord Satan. And I'm like,
oh God,
what the hell is this? And
yeah, they're kind of about that.
It was so hardcore thrash with no melody. Like it was just screaming in like heavy riffs. I was like, dude, this sucks. Like I just couldn't get into it. Like Pantera, yeah, there can be some thrash and scream, but they also have melody. They have like guitar riffs. They have like chunky, like memorable like hooks that you're like, dude, that's good. Like you think about Walk, and you think about Cowboys from Hell, and you think about This Love, and you think about they had some iconic songs. Sepultura is just like every song sounded like they just want to beat the crap out of me, and I just want to walk away. I was like, this is not fun.
Who headlined that concert?
Oh, that was Pantera.
Pantera, right?
Biohazard was first, and Biohazard was a little more funk thrash, so they actually were a little bit better than Sepultura. Sepultura just didn't. I didn't like them at all.
Yeah, I like Sepultura musically. I just the lyric, because like you said, it's basically screamo. It's just like it's this that, and that's fine if that's your thing. But the difference for me is that like Phil can actually sing.
Yeah, yes, he can.
Yeah.
So
they also write real hooks. It's not just hardcore thrash. Like you get actually picking and not just power chords on guitar. You get like some. They're a very talented band that's able to cross thrash with some semblance of rock, which is very different.
Well, and there's a lot of groove metal bands that I'm into. So, but Pantera was kind of the first, and I mean they're not the first, but they're in some of the first big one, I guess, right? Stanley, you can confirm whether or not they were the first big one. I feel like they probably were the first big groove metal band, right?
I think that the first, like, it was right around the same time. It was right after. It's right after Machine Head had first come out. Also Machine Head, and then not Devil Driver, but Coal Chamber before Devil Driver, with Fez. Coal Chamber was one of those group bands.
Pantera predates both of those.
Well,
yeah, I was gonna say Pantera's before Coal Chamber.
Well, I mean, I know groove metal wise, but Machine Head's been around a long time. Machine Head.
Machine Head.
But Pantera was the first to reach some semblance of commercial success.
Oh yeah, they were definitely.
They were the first one to cross over from. If Metallica was the first to take metal and turn it into crossover, Pantera was the first to take thrash and get it at least.
Yeah, Walk. Play. I mean, Walk was. Walk was played on 98 Rock here in Baltimore. I mean, you hear Walk. I mean, that's like
it's funny because that's probably one of my least favorite Pantera songs.
So
I mean,
really?
Everybody knows it, but
on.
I can't. It's kind of dumb to me. It's just kind of simple and dumb.
I like it.
The first Pantera song I ever heard.
I'm simple and dumb though, Sean. So it's all good.
But most of us are simple and dumb. That's what I like about.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just kind of I don't know. I could never. I've listened to it a million times. I just can't get behind it. Here
in Southern California, the thing is that the rock stations out here don't play. They just don't play certain. I mean, now Pantera is considered to be classic rock, so classic metal, classic rock. So they'll be on the classic rock station now.
I heard Green Day on classic rock station today.
But the very first time I ever heard a Pantera song on the radio, it was "This Love."
I love "This Love."
Off of
that's a good
"This
song.
Love" is fantastic.
Yeah,
but I already owned freaking Cowboys Mill. I already owned Vulgar Display.
Oh,
and then I just bought Far Beyond Driven, and I knew the song, and it was the very first time I heard him on the radio.
What's the snake on the cover?
Great Southern Tread Kit.
Yeah.
That's it. So good. Yeah, that's the last Pantera album I bought. I mean, I think they're fantastic. I really do. I think it's and I think it's a testament to them to be able to cross that thrash with some semblance of singing. I think the problem with thrash metal is that unless you are a complete diehard of the genre, it is hard to have any type of outside people say, yeah, I want to listen to that because it's all so similar. It just kind of bleeds. Whereas Pantera was able to take that and be very distinct in that genre. And that's why they were so powerful. They were really good.
Well, that's
and Dimebag, he had the ability. He was like Steve Clark to Def Leppard. He had this ability to do these riffs that were outside the vein of the typical thrash metal era. They were just strong. They were great. They were
Real quick,
memorable.
Annie, I want Todd in the chat, and you just highlighted Sean. You want to speak to that? You have any thoughts on
I've
Stellum?
never had it, so
No, Stellum Rye, I absolutely love. I love both of them.
They're both good.
Love. Now, I don't understand what they went with this sort of the higher end Stellum. I thought Stellum was supposed to be a cheaper barrel product, right?
So you talking about Stellum Black?
Yeah, well, yeah.
And now Stellum Blacks are more expensive than the barrel offering.
The barrel. It makes no sense.
So here's one for you. The Stellum Blacks are lower proof than the store picks of the blue.
What's going on here? So
I just won't pay it because I haven't yet.
I've never bought one. I've not bought a Stellum Black at all because I like the Stellum Rye and the Stellum Bourbon. They're fantastic. And we did a review of that. I think the Rye beat the Bourbon. We like the Rye better than the Bourbon.
They were close, but they were both very good. Now, Todd, question for you.
Yes.
True. Yeah, Back in Black is a hell of an album.
Oh yeah, well that's class. Yeah, yep, that's a great
one too. Todd Belanger, you didn't think there's another person after you were born named Todd. You have found someone. Are you guys going to reach out? Are you the last two Todds alive?
You don't know how old Todd Belanger is.
The last two Todds alive.
There may only be two Todds left. You may be the last two Todds on planet Earth.
If you meet a Todd, they were born in the 70s or 80s. They're not born any time after that. The name Todd.
I've only known one Todd in my two Todds.
I'm one.
One was Todd Bridges, and he was on TV.
Yes.
And the other one he played Willis. And the other one was a friend of mine named Todd Morris.
What about me?
When I was in the Navy.
All right. Todd Bridges.
You're the third.
And then Todd Zeal from the Cardinals. The only other Todd I knew.
There you
go. And then I knew
Todd is confirming. Todd is 54. So
all right, there you go. That's my point. I'm not that old, but I'm
Todd
in my 40s.
Todd from Beavis and Butthead is the other one I knew.
Todd's cool. Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Todd is probably my age.
The only two Todds I know in real life. Well, I mean, sort of. So I know this Todd, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I knew a guy named Todd Garber, who is the guy that taught me how to hunt pigs back in Florida. So those are the only two Todds I know.
You hunt pigs?
I did in Florida. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, you have to hunt anything unless they don't just walk up to your stove. So you have to hunt them.
No. Different kind of pig. I'm talking about wild boar.
Boar.
They will not walk up to your stove. They will tear your leg off. Is what they will do.
They will kill you.
Hence why you have to hunt them.
Oh darn! I don't have any Coke Zero. I'll have to just have. Pepsi Zero.
The perfect palate cleanse.
It is.
Todd Belanger.
What can I drink next? What do you guys
Todd,
want to drink
you are
next?
still the youngest Todd alive.
All right, so real quick.
Yeah,
So
I haven't heard what you guys drinking. I still haven't heard.
Real quick, and then we'll go to Stanley's next pick. So this is what I picked for Pantera. I mean, Austin from Texas.
Yay.
You know,
Let's go,
Pantera.
brother. I'll drink with you.
This is a hell of a bottle. I freaking love this.
Todd,
$42.
Take an old school McCormick sip of that.
There we go. All right. Oh. Todd's not going to work tomorrow.
I'm not. I'm off.
Oh, okay. Awesome, man.
I'm off. My son's graduating from kindergarten.
Oh, sweet.
That's is there such a thing? Oh,
yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, is this good? I did not pay $45.
What'd you pay?
It was a gift, so technically I paid nothing. But my sister and my brother-in-law paid $60 for it.
I mean, I saw it for $49.
And they got it from a guy who was 75, but his name was Todd.
I'm going to pour some more.
So you overcharged them for it.
So you're right. So I wanted to understand this. So in Texas, I guess, it does not need to age as much. That's the whole point here, right? Because it's so hot.
So, I mean, every Texas bourbon I've ever had is very youthful age-wise.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't taste youthful, but age-wise, it's very young.
I would never know it was 2 years. I
But
would
it
never
doesn't,
have
it
said 2
doesn't
years.
exactly. It doesn't drink like it's 2
Never
years
would
old.
have.
So
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
You don't see a Balcones that doesn't look like coffee. And
Yeah, look at the
yeah.
look at this.
Look at exactly. Look at it. Look at it.
Look at it.
Beautiful.
Dude, I saw it for $49. I was like, hold on, cash drank $49.
Look at this. This is a what's the proof point? This is a 92 proof budget bottle, and look at that thing. I mean,
what is that? Is it Balcones?
This is Balcones pot still. Hey, this is
Jesus.
good, man.
Is it?
Don't pass on it. Hey,
No,
if you like the Still Austin, this is the budget version, low proof version.
Well, I like the higher proof because it gets me drunk faster. So there you go.
Well, I'm telling you, if you, I know top shelf Todd, but
it's $49.
If you're ever on a budget, then
and I had a coupon. So $42. I'm like, sold. I'll take it. I said, Aiden, I called you. I said, there's Aiden. Where the heck you been on our stream, man? He's like our music expert with you guys, and he's MIA for the last month and a half or 2 months, right, Andy?
True.
So
Aiden, we miss you, brother.
So there's no way we could go through all the ones that Todd and Andy went through, but so far we're going perfect albums here, Aiden. My 2 first picks, and I know you're not going to like at least one of them, is Injustice for All, Metallica, and then Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. And then Stanley's first album, first album, though, was Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, which I totally agree with. That's a fantastic album. But now, Stanley, what is your second pick?
Okay, this is not going to be a popular pick for most people because most people don't listen to these guys. But my second perfect album is Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys.
Oh, Beach Boys. Boys. I don't know that album, but I love the Beach Boys.
I respect it. I mean,
Pet Sounds is the final major Beach Boys album. It's the one where Brian Wilson basically lost his mind making the album, trying to make it perfect. It's got my favorite song ever by the Beach Boys called Sloop John B. and Wouldn't It Be Nice? And God Only Knows is also on that album. So it's three of my favorite Beach Boys songs. I'm a freaking, like I said, my dad got me into the Beach Boys, and Pet Sounds has always been like one of my favorite albums to chill out to and everything else. And I really don't have a whiskey.
You like that surf music? You like that surf sort of whatever you want?
Oh yeah, rock, I used to be into surf rock, Dick Dale, freaking the Ventures, all that stuff. But yeah, my dad was a huge. We used to go to the beach when we were kids because my dad had like a 10-foot longboard that he always went out and surfed on and stuff like that. So.
Andy, what are you still drinking? Andy, what are you still drinking?
I'm doing the Peerless Fry still.
You drank too much of that Peerless Fry.
First off,
does Andy look high? Yeah, Andy always looks high.
Andy liked the Peerless Fry way more than the Electric Craig 18, I think.
Maybe.
Hey, show the 2 bottles. Show the 2 bottles. Show the 2 bottles.
Right, hold on, I'm posting something real quick.
So real quick, David, I got to say, man, you have been hanging out with some real men. Anybody that's hunting boars with a freaking knife, that is a beast of a man. You are just crazy to be.
That reminds me of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, where he killed the pig with a knife, and he was crying afterwards.
I mean, you have to kind of be nuts to hunt boar, period. But if you're doing it with a knife, you are a madman. That's
Andy, what is with you?
What?
The name
Todd reached the height of his popularity in the 1960s. No one is named Todd anymore. You're the last one. You're the last person named Todd.
You might be.
And you're connected, and I'm your best friend, so that's a good thing.
You are my best friend. I didn't realize you were the last of the Mohicans.
I am.
I was about to make that same reference, Andy. I was going to say we've had the last of the Mohicans. Now we are going to have a movie coming out, The Last of the Todds.
If you think about it, how many in music can you think of anybody other than Todd Rundgren that has the name?
Yes. Josh Todd. His last name is Todd from Buck Cherry.
Yeah, but that's his last name, not his first name.
I never trust a person who has 2 first names.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
He loses.
By the way, I love Buck Cherry. I think they're fantastic.
Person with 2 first names. Good.
Oh yeah, Crazy Bitch is one of the greatest songs ever written.
I love it. I love everything.
It is.
That first album, actually, Andy.
So truthful.
Andy, that first album I think could have been on our list tonight. The first
Jack. What is up, brother?
Jack. Judas Priest, Rock Sailor has. I like the Judas Priest Rock and Roll Up.
So yeah, I looked at a list earlier. Of like what they I can't remember who it was. Some weirdo that put up his 10 perfect albums. And he had South of Heaven on there, but he had Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance. And I was like, good album, but I wouldn't have put that.
You know what I hate about this is Judas Priest got put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
On a technicality. They couldn't vote him in. They gave him an award that got him in. That's
complete BS.
Bullshit.
So I just looked up the top people named Todd.
Andy's just on this Todd kick. We're not going to get him off it.
I can't believe.
I like this,
Andy. Are you high? Are you high, Andy?
I'm just saying, I can't believe how unpopular your name is. So the most popular person named Todd, according to Ranker.com of all time, is Todd Rundgren. Okay. Number 2 is Todd Howard. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is
either. Nobody does.
Then you have cheesy baseball player Todd Hundley, number 3.
Todd Hundley. What about Todd Zeal?
Then you have Todd Lowe. Don't know who that is.
Who's that?
Todd Schmidt. Don't know who that is.
And then it's Todd Carrick.
Todd Herzog. Don't know who that is.
Todd Carrick.
Todd McFarlane at 7. Don't know who that is.
Yeah, you do. You know who Todd McFarlane is. Wait,
he is a Canadian comic book writer.
Is he the everything?
Yeah, he's the one that draws Spawn.
Okay, so
what?
Not really popular.
Wait a second here.
Number 8 is Todd.
He also drew Spider-Man for a while. Todd McFarlane's kind of famous.
Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley for the Rams. Todd Bridges. Then number 10, Todd Blackledge from the Raiders in 1970s. Todd Newick. Todd Stashwick. Todd Glass.
You're just reading random names.
I'm not going to lie to you. No one is named Todd. I think you're more popular than half those people. I think you're maybe like the third most popular Todd alive.
I'm waiting for Todd Carrick to come in.
I mean, Todd McFarlane was really big back in like the 90s, early 2000s. You're probably bigger than.
Wait. Highlight Todd Bellinger, my man. He knows my pain.
There you go. So I mean,
we didn't choose this curse. We were given it.
I gotta say, Todd, you're probably bigger than Todd McFarlane now.
I doubt it.
I don't know what he's doing now. Not much.
Todd, you're the 5th. At least top 5 most famous Todds in the world, and that's amazing.
Just because of a shitty YouTube channel, huh?
We don't even have 5,000 followers. You're the top 5.
We suck.
There you go.
Yeah.
Top 5 Todds.
Top 5 Todds.
Top shelf Todd and top 5 Todds. All kind of accolades coming your way.
Hold on. What, Stanley? What are you drinking?
Todd McFarlane is really good.
What are you guys drinking?
Yeah. Stanley, you're pairing. So my suggestion would be Barrel Seagrass. That seems very Beach Boys on the beach.
Oh, yes, that's good.
I could see that.
Yes.
The Pink Floyd. That's just something like it'd be like Daily Pour. I mean, it'd be like a freaking Knob Creek 12 or something like that. Just something that's.
I like this Barrel Seagrass. That's a nice.
I was thinking more like.
What about Three Floyd's beer?
Oh, there you go.
I'm not a beer guy, so.
No,
I can't tell you.
If we're going with fluids, then those are good choices. I was thinking more like acid tabs. If we're going. Anyway, moving along. So changing gears a little bit.
Can I just say it's cool to see Aiden in the chat? Aiden,
man, for sure, man.
So
good
cool
to see you. Oh, okay. Later, Jack. Good chatting with you, man. Glad you got to pop in. Yeah, well, just hit me up on Patreon or something. Anyway. So my next perfect album got to go with Soundgarden, Super Unknown.
There it is, Andy. Soundgarden.
Yeah, love that album. Listen to it. I don't even know. I mean, this is my teens. In my room, lights off, black light with my crazy posters. Got home from a hard day of skateboarding.
Who were those posters of there, Sean?
It's just various rock bands. you know, blacklight posters, and I had the lava lamp. I had all the stuff, all the trippy stuff, man.
Mine was Paul Abdul and Belinda Carlisle.
And Nelson.
I had Belinda Carlisle. I had Paul Abdul, and yes, Nelson. All 4 of those chicks were beautiful. So
I actually had this poster. It was like this like Halloween looking mansion, but it was the old velvet style blacklight poster that I got from my grandmother. So yeah, that was in my room. Anyway, yeah, so I would just lay on my floor on the carpet and listen to Super Unknown just on a loop. Yeah, man, I don't even know how many times I listened to that album. I freaking love it. Miss Chris tremendously. What I really wish existed is like a best of Chris Cornell. I mean, because there's so much stuff that he did outside of Soundgarden that I love. So, yeah, miss him a lot. But anyway, because Super Unknown is such like a dark tones, just dark message, not messages, but kind of, I mean, you know, it's dark, deep. I got to go with Ardbeg 10, just dark tones. Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
All the smoky, peaty goodness.
Andy's getting the scotch.
All right, babe.
Andy's getting the scotch, right, Andy?
We'll see.
Oh, you said you bought some. You bought some
I
scotch.
did.
You're
It's
dabbling.
okay. Was the Glenlivet 14 sherry cask? It's
Yeah.
okay.
I'm not a big
proof,
scotch fan.
It wasn't my cup of tea.
All right, Stanley, you're up. Let's hear it.
You are
okay. So, though my favorite song by this band is not on this album, my next perfect album is Power Slave by Iron Maiden.
Oh, I knew that was coming. I was surprised it coming for Sean, but okay.
Well, no, Sean would have probably picked Number of the Beast, but that would.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I would have. Yeah, you're right.
But Power Slave, I mean, it starts out with Churchill, goes into Aces High. I mean, it's just like
Stanley's the only guy who go from the Beach Boys to Iron Maiden. That's the
So I went from Megadeth to Bay Area Manilow. Give me some
true.
credit. Give me a little bit of
Can I
credit.
ask a question about that? Can I ask a question?
That's a more impressive switch, I think.
Andy picked Euthanasia for Megadeth. Can we agree that there's better Megadeth? I mean, that was a great album.
No, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on. Track for track, the best album they have is Euthanasia.
Oh, Andy, there you go. Nashville.
Really? Okay.
Well, I mean, if
it's
the
got
one
something for everybody too. It's
Countdown Peace Cells.
If you sit down and you go through each of the albums,
It's a good album. I didn't know.
and you listen to and you start listening to the albums. When you listen to Peace Cells, it gets lost after the first 3 or 4 tracks.
Does
and
it?
And then So Far So Good So What, outside of Anarchy in the UK, not the stellar album. Euthanasia, I've been able to sit through that freaking album track for track against any other Megadeth album, even against Dystopia, which was a really freaking awesome album.
So mine would be Rust in Peace. And
Rust in Peace. What about that?
That's where I get lost between Hangar 18 and Tornado of Souls. There's a dead spot.
I guarantee you, Todd, you would like Euthanasia more.
So I will say this, Andy. We went through Euthanasia tonight, and I forgot how many great songs were on that. Going through it, you were right. I was surprised how many I recognized and like, oh god, that is good. Oh shit, that is good. Yeah, and you're right.
My favorite Megadeth song is on that album, so that's also.
Which one is that?
A Tout le Monde.
Oh, there you knew the beer. There you go.
Fantastic. Tout le Monde is great. I also love Elysian Fields, Blood of Heroes.
Yeah, it's really good. So that came in how many
Black
years
Curtains.
after? Andy,
I mean, that whole album is fantastic.
How many years did that come after Countdown?
What's up, Bobby? How
it was the one right after Countdown.
Yeah. So I love Countdown.
Because
I love
even,
Countdown.
Even Risk was an attempt to recreate Euthanasia.
But let me ask you this real quick, Stanley and Sean.
Yeah.
Do you see Countdown in the same vein as Black, the Black album?
It's different.
No, think of it though.
I mean,
they came out around the same time.
Symphony of Destruction is more like Black than Euthanasia.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
So like my comparison is Black is commercially acceptable, and Countdown was commercially acceptable. The album.
Right.
But the difference is that Black was a commercially made album.
Yeah.
Countdown to Extinction was a political album.
Yeah.
That just happened to get good radio play.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The difference is Enter Sandman.
So what's the better album?
Enter Sandman was so big that everything else after that didn't matter.
I mean, if you think about it,
I love both of the albums.
How many bands after Black came out? How many bands kind of jumped on that?
Yeah.
what I would call the second Nirvana wave, which is what when Nirvana came out,
Architect Progression.
Everything went crazy, and then when the Black Album from Metallica came out, everybody loved metal. All of a sudden, everybody loved Slayer. Everybody loved everybody.
Think about it. Symphony of Destruction versus Enter Sandman is what separated them. Symphony was huge. Sandman was massive. It was one of those once-in-a-lifetime songs. That's what made Metallica mainstream. It's what made Sabbath True able to be released. It would be even Unforgiven and Nothing Else Matters wouldn't have been released if it weren't for Enter Sandman just being so powerful that
Andy,
to this day it's still played at every high school basketball game.
Andy,
it's iconic. What?
Bad Axe Bourbon is a channel about bourbon and axe throwing. We just subscribe to them because they're
it is.
Yeah,
actually,
dude, they're
awesome.
freaking.
Is there any mods in chat? I haven't
Holy crap! How do we not know about Bad Axe Bourbon?
Everybody check out Bad Axe Bourbon for sure.
Hell yes!
And if somebody could drop the link, that'd be great. I'm terrible at doing that.
Well, Jack left, so that freaking.
Oh, was he the only mod?
Yeah, I think so.
You need more mods. Sean.
Well,
yeah.
No, I mean, on a typical night, I do. This is.
This is not typical. I know we suck.
Well,
I'm
Stanley,
sorry.
Stanley, you're a mod.
Okay, well, let's see. Hold on.
That Axe Bourbon.
I don't know. I don't know what I do wrong. Whenever I go to copy somebody's link, it ends up being like a paragraph of just gibberish. So I'm doing something wrong, clearly.
See, databases. I agree. Countdown Extinction. And I didn't realize I knew any. I will give you 100%. When you said euthanasia, I was like, no way. And then when you went through track to track, it's a great album.
Yeah.
So Megadeth had a staying power. I thought it was really impactful. I watched that documentary of Metallica. What's it called? We talked about this. I don't know what it was called. I saw it.
It's okay, though. It's okay.
This idiot asshole right here. He's my best friend, but he sucks.
He picks on you because he loves you, right?
Exactly. I could take it from him. When they had on that documentary on the St. Anger album, what's it called, Sean? Mashbill, what's that documentary called?
Some kind of
monster.
Yeah. So they had Dave Mustaine in there with Lars, right? They were talking about how much Dave Mustaine getting kicked out of Metallica affected him personally on a level. I was actually a bit moved by that. I'd never seen that before, and I wondered what that dichotomy was between Metallica and Megadeth in terms of Mustaine being kicked out of this band that basically went on to superstardom.
Yeah. Oh, Mustaine freaking hated him for a long time. Yeah.
But it didn't seem
hated
like
each other.
Well,
yeah.
I agree with that, but it seemed like they mended their fences. But yet you never see Metallica and Megadeth on the same bill. Do you ever see them on the same bill?
They have more recently, but still not much. I mean, it's very few and far between.
How amazing would that be to see? How cool would that be to see?
No, I agree. I think the problem is Mustaine was never the kind of person that was destined to be not in the spotlight.
Yeah, but Andy, if you watch that documentary, you see Mustaine saying he knows he fucked up. But sorry, I apologize for the language. Sorry.
It wasn't just that, because it wasn't like Hetfield had his own issues.
Oh, yeah.
Cliff Burton had his own issues. Lars wasn't even that competent a drummer. I mean, they got rid of, I'll say this, they got rid of Mustaine the same way that Def Leppard got rid of Pete Willis when they were all drunk off their ass.
Did you see the documentary, though?
They kicked them out. Well, I've seen enough on.
He said basically, "I wish you would have gave me the same opportunity you gave to James Hetfield."
Well, that's my point. That's exactly what I was saying.
He
was ostracized for different reasons, the same way Pete Willis was.
Right.
It was, you know what? It's just not the fit that we want personally, because Mustaine was. So
you're Bad Axe. We're talking about that right now. Yeah.
So here's my thing. Even though I feel bad for Dave tremendously, but he went on to his own success.
Yeah.
And if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have Megadeth. So for that reason, I'm glad it did, because now we have two amazing bands.
And if I had to choose one of the two, I'd take Megadeth's catalog over Metallica's.
That's 100% true.
I would definitely take Megadeth over Metallica.
I would not.
It's close for me, but I have to go Metallica. But but then again,
I want them both. Get them both.
For me, there's only about and if Marty were here, he'd probably get pissed at me saying this because I know he feels like you have to accept it all. For me, there's only about 7 or 8 Metallica albums that actually exist, and the others don't exist.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I just ignore that they're there.
Everybody hit the thumbs up.
Load.
Come on, give Sean a like.
I think Load was acceptable, and I think they had some fun songs, even though it was a little grungy Metallica. After that, they haven't put out an album yet.
Saint Anger sucked. I'm sorry. That was a great documentary.
Reload sucked. Saint Anger sucked. They haven't had an album since. Megadeth, however,
well, I mean, Death Magnetic wasn't terrible. There was some decent stuff on there. So I agree. Load, there's stuff on Load that I enjoy. It's still not the Metallica they want, but I mean, put that aside, I think it's still a decent album. It's not the Metallica of old for sure, but I mean, as an album, I like it okay. There's some songs on there I enjoy to listen to still. Reload, it's just
cheers, Bourbon
Ronnie. I can't.
Can I ask a question, guys?
I can't think of a song on Reload that I would listen to now.
Let me ask you guys.
Garage Incorporated, S&M.
Yeah, Garage. Garage is certainly one I would listen to. S&M is different but enjoyable.
Was it Livewire, just whatever it is, whatever the last one was?
Can I ask you guys this question?
So
Stanley, I know you're a big Anthrax fan, right?
Yes.
Joey Belladonna.
Yeah.
I loved Anthrax with John Bush from Armored Saint. I loved everything about that album. Sound of What Noise.
High Pro Glow.
Sound of What Noise.
Only. Room for One More.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. It's
what
great.
Is he doing? What is he doing now, John Bush? Like, what is he doing?
He's the lead singer of Armored Saint.
He's back with Armored Saint. Maybe I need to learn more Armored Saint because I love John Bush. Like that, his soul sound. Does he sound the same what he does with Anthrax or no?
So what's up, Ron? Good to see you, man.
He's awesome.
I love that.
I actually went and saw him. It was the Armored Saint opened up for Queensryche a few years ago.
Queensryche without Jeff Tate. I'm sorry, I can't stand. I know they have a good singer now, but it's not. I hate these bands that put this shit out. I'm cussing now. I'm sorry.
Latore. I'm telling you,
you just bottle chug Still Austin. It's
I know. I did. I know, Stanley, but it's not. Listen.
Oh, wait a second. That's another Todd. You should like him. His name's Todd Latore.
That's true. I do like him now. Actually, that you say that. Andy, help me out here. It's not this. Jeff Tate is an iconic singer. I know he might be an asshole.
You're right.
Come on.
Oh no, believe me. Okay,
I don't know if that's the case.
We can get into Queensryche lore all you want because when somebody brought up the Empire earlier, I was like,
"It's me."
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong? Let's go.
The Warning, Queen of the Reich, Operation Mindcrime.
I didn't say that wasn't good.
Promised Land.
I will admit,
was better than Empire.
I didn't really get into Queensryche until that time period, right? So I'm 45 years old. So I love Operation Mindcrime 1 and 2. I love them, but I really got into the Empire. To me,
that's what put them. That was their black album.
It's so exactly. I saw them live with Warrior Soul. You remember Warrior Soul?
Warrior Soul.
I saw them open up. The guy was a nut job. The lead
singer.
Wait a
second. Didn't Andy do should have been a hit with Warrior Soul?
I don't think he should. I don't think Andy did, but he should have. Warrior Soul opened up. The guy ran off stage. Whatever. My point is, I love that album because it fell in love with with Queensryche.
Appreciate you popping on, man.
Good night, Aiden. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on.
Well,
Stanley, did you do your third? I'm sorry, it's late in the night. And
I did Iron Maiden Power Slave.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So what's your third, Sean?
Well, I'm on my 4th now. So 4th. Now, if you guys won't let this slide, I appreciate it. It is a compilation album, but Experience Hendrix, the best of Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, you can't. How am I going to argue that?
It's the best compilation of Jimi Hendrix, and there's too many good songs on Jimmy's other albums to just pick one. Like, it's. I mean,
are we talking about what on Jimmy's other albums? You're talking about the one that they've redone like 7 times.
Yeah.
Wait. But
Jimi Hendrix only has like 3 albums total that actually have like original stuff on it. Everything.
Oh no,
else
yeah, no, I
just like
appreciate
remixes
that.
or redone.
No, what I'm saying, because I can only choose one, I
Right.
want all of the songs, all the great songs from Jimmy, and the only way to get that is in a compilation.
I would throw a flag if you were Andy, but you're not, so you're good.
Yeah, so that would be my.
Can I say one thing? Bad Axe Bourbon said 2 bands ever successful replaced the other singers, Van Halen and AC/DC. I agree with that.
Oh yeah.
Like, we didn't mention any Van Halen albums tonight, and there's a few we probably could.
And I think AC/DC did the best job of that. But I mean, I'm just not a huge Van Halen fan. I think Eddie is great. I love Eddie. I love Eddie.
Would be for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge.
Oh, okay. You love at least you said you love Eddie. That's good.
Yeah.
But wait, what don't you love, Sean?
I mean, we've talked about this before. When things get too poppy, I'm kind of out, and that's kind of been Van Halen's thing always. And
wait.
They do it in a way that's just, I don't know. It's just, they never did it for me. There's like a couple songs I enjoy listening to, but most of it's
Van Halen's amazing. I love Van Halen. I love him with David Lee Roth.
I'm not saying, I want to be clear. I'm not saying they're bad. It's just they're not my thing. That's all.
Stanley,
you know. What
do you think?
What do I think of what?
Of Van Halen, either with David Lee or the Scab.
Did you just call Sammy Hagar a scab?
No, I'm just joking. I mean, I was trying to piss off Andy, but I think he's drunk. He didn't even realize that.
I was born and raised. I was raised in a city called Fontana, California, which just so happens to be the same city that Sammy Hagar was raised in. And Sammy Hagar is a god to me, and therefore Van Hagar will always be better than Van Halen.
Oh God.
Well, okay. Let's put it this way.
You think Van Halen's better?
So here's my argument. Here's my argument, though. Okay.
I'm with Stanley on this. To be fair,
all the way up until 5150.
I might just leave now.
Up until 5150. Hold on.
Todd, I cannot stand David Lee Roth. He's one of my least favorite humans on the planet.
That may be true. The music itself is iconic and amazing. So screw that.
Todd, here's my reason.
That's bullshit.
Up until 5150.
Okay.
Van Halen never had a #1 song. Van Halen never had a #1 album.
Look at the songs that were
that is incorrect. Listen, that's incorrect. Jump was a #1 song.
Yeah.
So that is incorrect.
Okay, well then I was wrong. I was wrong about that.
Yes.
But they never had a #1 album.
I love Sammy. I love Sammy. I love.
But Jump was.
See, this is the problem.
It was.
It puts you in a corner. Like, are you a Hagar or? I love them both.
Oh no, I like Van Halen across. I like Van Halen across the board, but 5150 is an amazing album. OU812 is an amazing album. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge is a freaking amazing album.
I agree.
Van Halen 3 is a freaking amazing album. Freaking, you just
really?
can't fuck with it.
You like the Gary Sharon album?
Gary Sharon?
Yeah, hell yeah. If you listen to the album, you take the Gary Ciccone out of your head. And
I love Gary Sharon. I don't think I don't think
totally
it was a very
agree with this, David.
catchy album. I think it didn't have the big hooks
there you go,
you're
David.
used to.
But it's not. I mean, it's
Drunk
not better.
Indians.
I'm not going to take David Lee Roth over Gary Sharon. I mean, I'm not going to take Gary Sharon.
There you go, brother. Cheers to that. More late night Andy Dog.
I'm not taking Gary Sharon over David Lee Roth, but I'm always going to take Sammy Hagar.
All right, now my pick for Jimi Hendrix experience album, and just really Jimi Hendrix.
Acid Tabs?
No. Okay, so I thought about this. Now, granted, there's lots of conspiracy theories around Jimmy's death, but he was certainly a wine drinker known to be. And so I had to go with a port-finished whiskey. Yeah, so there you go, Starlight. And I think Starlight brand would kind of appeal to Jimmy, too, if he was still around. So, yeah. Going
Starlight. Oh, all right. I got to go to bed. I've got to get up early tomorrow for an appointment, and I'm already way past my bedtime. A little too
hey.
And you're high.
Yeah.
Do I look high?
Do I look high?
You guys.
No, it's so springtime.
Hey, let me just say this before we leave. I'm working on something. We tried to shoot the Jefferson's Ocean Rye.
Oh God. Oh God.
I think that's as bad as I've been in I
He's
don't
so
know how
drunk.
long.
He's so drunk.
So
drunk.
I'm trying to.
We didn't finish the shoot. We didn't finish it.
I'm telling you guys, you need to just keep going until you just can't stand it, because that's when the best stuff happens.
It was
trying.
bad.
I'm going to cut that, and so
there's not an ending to the video. That's
yeah,
how bad it was. We didn't end the video. We didn't finish reviewing it. It just shuts
this is
off.
recording dead space.
We're like, all right, we're done. We just stopped.
Walk away.
I mean,
we walked away.
Even the intro, which is funny, to the bar show we just did, is Todd like
yelling at my
his son to go to bed.
Yeah.
And Todd's like, "You're gonna use this, aren't you?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" And it found its way in the video. Like we love trying to do that stuff, but there is so much for that Jefferson's, and we didn't even finish.
Oh my God,
it's bad. So
yeah,
you'll see more of that.
Is that going to be a video or a Patreon exclusive?
Some will only be for Patreon. I'll do a little clip for the live stream, but
well, either way, we get to see it. So I'm
that's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Good night. I appreciate you hanging out, man.
Hey, and Sean, well done, dude. That was a great video. The Todd video was awesome.
So, you know, when I real quick before you go, so I thought back about all the stuff I've seen from you guys, and and you guys had there's one clip where you guys are like dressed up in your 80s, like you got the wigs going on and stuff, and you're like, oh, how much Nirvana sucks, and all that stuff. Like, oh, it'll last like 5 months and it'll be gone. All that kind. Yeah. So I was like, all right, so if like what would have happened to Slash if it, because Guns N' Roses fell apart, him and Axl were pissed off each other. What if he just became a total alcoholic and got washed up, and now he's like hosting a show on a rock stage somewhere?
It was awesome, and you took
and lost all his hair, right?
Little like inside jokes too, with like if you really watch this, which is great. I thought it was so funny. So you did a great job.
Oh, Andy, look at Eric. Eric, don't worry about FAO1. I'm not worried about it.
That's so springtime.
That needs to be a shirt.
Even people who don't know that there was an FAO1, FAO2, because the FAO1 was in spring. So I was like,
don't worry about it.
That's so springtime. I was just not in a good place.
He was wasted.
Yeah, but I mean, even still, that's one of my favorite like
don't worry about
it from you guys. It's
I'm not worried about it. That's a springtime. That's Dave, Eric, Indy. That's gonna be a shirt. It's got. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. That's a springtime.
That's so springtime.
No, the whole thing is be on that. Don't worry about FAO1. I'm not worried about it. That's a springtime. That's what it's gotta be. That's what it's gotta be.
Yeah, just real quick. Quick thoughts on this. Did the Transformers movies not ruin Linkin Park for everybody? Like I just
Andy hates
like,
Linkin Park.
I love. Okay. I liked Linkin Park, and then like I don't know.
Linkin Park. You don't like Linkin Park. Exactly.
What did they sing? I don't know. Andy, have you ever listened to a radio?
Not since 1989.
They've been on there some. They've been on the radio some. Just a little
Alice in
bit.
Chains, he likes. He likes Alice in Chains. He likes Soundgarden.
Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden. I'm okay with all of them. I don't know what Linkin Park sings.
No, that's definitely a freaking perfect album. Is freaking Alice in Chains.
Oh, Dirt
Facelift.
What about Dirt?
No, Alice in Chains acoustic album is the perfect album. That is
Dirt.
just ridiculously good.
Yeah.
Grind. That's another freaking awesome album.
Really, most of the Alice in Chains albums are phenomenal.
And Lane Staley.
And Todd, you did like.
Well, as long as Lane was alive, they were.
Yeah,
fantastic.
exactly.
Okay, so
Andy, what did you say?
You had "Hit Me Baby One More Time" on there too from Britney.
Well, who doesn't like that song? I mean,
so
for many reasons.
I like all for videos a lot on mute, but
yeah, exactly.
I was more Genie in a Bottle. I was.
All right, there you go.
Anyway, Andy, appreciate you, man. Andy, I know you got to get out of here.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning here. I gotta go too.
Oh, do you? Okay, all right.
Well,
all right.
I'll stay for a few more minutes. What the hell?
Let's hear Stanley's next pick here. I mean,
all right,
Andy,
love you, brother. I want to hear Stanley's next pick, and then I'll go.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I'm gonna have a couple honorable mentions at the end of it, but but this one, Bat Out of Hell, Meatloaf.
Okay.
Literally one of the greatest little albums that's ever been written. The only album that's ever been that was on the album charts longer. The only albums on the album charts longer than Bat Out of Hell were Thriller by Michael Jackson and Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd.
I can't argue with that.
So, and it's
I don't
it's
know a
five,
lot of it,
it's
but
6 songs. It's
Is
6
that
songs.
is that
and
2 out of 3 ain't bad or
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Okay.
Bad Out of Hell. Yeah, exactly.
That is a solid album there, Stanley. I can't.
I was
can't
never a
disagree.
big Meatloaf fan. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
Andy,
mean,
you weren't
okay,
either.
so here's the thing.
Come on,
I'm
Andy,
not,
you weren't
I'm,
either.
Do you like- John,
I'm
do
not
you like
either,
Meatloaf?
but
Do I
but-
like Meatloaf?
yes?
I do like
It's a
Meatloaf.
trick question.
I
it's
like
very
Meatloaf.
tasty.
It's
Like,
very tasty.
with or
I love it.
without ketchup? Because
I like
Without
it.
ketchup, you don't put ketchup
I don't
on
put ketchup on
beef.
it,
I
but there's
just wondering.
onions and other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. You
Sorry.
don't put ketchup on beef unless you're a communist.
Yeah, I don't put.
So,
Well, we're not. By the way, we're not.
so I don't care if you're a communist, but don't put ketchup on beef.
We're
That's the
not.
rule.
We're not either.
Oh, that's so springtime. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
like,
Andy's drunk, by the way, guys.
so
I'm
Bad Out
drunk.
of so the Bad Out of Hell album. You've got Bad Out of Hell. You took the words right out of my mouth. Heaven Can Wait. All Revved Up with No Place to Go. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Paradise for by the Dashboard Light, and For Crying Out Loud. Now, a lot of people didn't know who Meatloaf was until he was in
Appreciate you, Joe.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's what I always thought was funny.
Cheers, Joe.
Yeah. So I can appreciate Meatloaf, even though I'm not a huge fan. But I can appreciate the quality of music. I think that I can do that with a lot of things that maybe aren't my thing. I like Beach Boys. Beach Boys aren't necessarily my thing, but I appreciate not only were they groundbreaking, but also just the quality of music. So I have no arguments, even though.
Can
Meatloaf
I ask a
is not
question?
really-
Andy, before you leave, because this is germane to you.
Yeah.
Which album is better, Pyromania or Hysteria?
For me, Pyromania.
Pyromania, hands down.
Wait.
It depends on my mood.
Wait, hands down? Like, is that clear cut?
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
For me, it is.
that's hard. That's a hard question.
I mean,
you got to remember my favorite album is on through my favorite
All
album
right,
is on
okay.
through the night.
Now-
So
now
Pyromania is
On
always
Through the
gonna
Night is not nearly as good as High and Dry if you're going to old school. So I
like High and Dry also.
I think
Just
it's
curious.
if you're going progression, All Through the Night was them just raw kids playing. It was fun, but it's not as I think dynamic as people think. It's a fun album. High and
They
Dry
were
is
so
the
young. How
High and
old were
Dry
they?
is the first time where they were like, "Yeah, we've got musical chops. We're going to be big,"
Yeah.
and you could see it in the songs, like "Let
Good
It Go," "Saturday Night," "High and Dry," "Bring On the Heartbreak," and the fact that you dabbled in harmonies and ballads. Pyromania was something brand new, but there was nothing other than straight ahead rockers on that album, which was cool. But the fact that Hysteria brought in,
but see, that's
Hysteria,
what I
Love
liked
Lights.
about Pyromania.
I like the fact that it doesn't have to be everything is one. Every song had the same type of groove and beat. It was just an up tempo.
Yeah.
I like
Is-
the fact that they brought it.
What's
back
your
to
favorite
those
Def Leppard
effects.
song?
Me?
All three of you guys.
Oh, God, no chance I could answer that.
All right,
But
Stanley. Do you have mine's
All right.
Photograph, which is on Pyromania.
So Ron from Bourbon Rendezvous also says Pyromania. So that's 3 votes from
oh,
him.
I love Pyromania. to
Listen,
death.
I love my favorite songs on Pyromania. But when you look track by track, it's hard to. Hysteria is an iconic album. Guys.
Well,
Oh,
okay,
no,
so I'm not
Hysteria is good.
saying that. If you're going track for track,
It's a
I know that's
iconic
the
album.
theme of the night, but there's songs I like better on Pyromania. So
okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. It's fair enough.
My favorite Def Leppard song is "Me and My Wine."
Whoa.
It's a
Okay.
great song.
Whoa.
It's just something that when I was a kid, for some reason, that was like one of the very first
Hey,
songs ever.
and
I ever
Me
heard
and My Wine is on our thank you. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
Me and My Wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
that's the end of the video. Yeah.
I would say
Thank you, Joe. You're the best, Joe.
I struggle. Sometimes for me,
please check out these guys.
the best song for me is Photograph was so iconic and so different.
I love Photograph.
But then I'll tell you right now, I think Animal from Hysteria
this guy.
is maybe the best pop metal song ever written. It is perfect. Animal is just absolutely fantastic. So I struggle like with what's my favorite, and they're both
And then
so
comes
different.
Adrenalize. What do you think about Adrenalize?
Okay, now here's the thing. Here's the
Freaking
thing.
love that album. Oh my
I
God,
love
it's
me and my
fantastic.
I love me and my wine's my favorite like if I had to pick one Def Leppard song, that song that's my favorite. If you said which is my second favorite, it's Two Steps Behind.
Oh, I
Great
mean, it's,
song. That,
you know what's great about that?
You know, they sold 1 million plus albums of that, and it's a B-side. That's what's amazing about that. That's you had Ring of Fire,
nice.
you had Fractured Love, you had Desert Song.
It's and not
so
to say
good.
it's a bad song. It's not that hard to play on the guitar too, right? It's like
No, you
it's
can play that. It's easy.
like
Any song,
EG,
any song that Joe wrote and it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the rest of the guys, you can play because Joe only knows about 5 chords.
I know like 6 chords:
Yeah.
E, G, D, C, F, and A. That's it. That's all I know.
But Adrenalize, 'cause it looks like Bad Axe didn't like it. I mean, I thought some of their best work
Bad
was
Axe is a cool channel, and I can't wait
Stand
to
Up,
like
Kick Love
know
and
them.
Emotion. White Lightning was attributed to Steve
Wait, you
Clark
didn't like
as one
it,
of the
or
best songs of all time that Leopard wrote.
We've kept Andy now for a little bit.
Tear
We're
It
talking about
Down
Def
was fantastic.
We brought up Def
fantastic.
Leppard, so Andy has to
Yeah,
stay.
Andy's gonna stay now.
That album, top to bottom, there's no filler on that album. That's fantastic. So I would say that's another great.
Do you guys want to see Andy at a Def Leppard concert for our Patreon?
I can't wait.
I'm gonna record.
I think we need to. I think it has to be part
and
of
then
our life.
he'll record me when Motley goes on, and Vince sucks.
I'm gonna record the disappointment. You're like, oh, really?
No, I think Vince is gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. And
You
they're
really
gonna
think
kick
that?
ass. They're gonna kick ass. Oh yeah, Motley Crue.
I hope
amazing.
so. Like
I hope so.
I
I hope so,
really
too.
want
I
them to
hope
be
so,
good.
too.
Oh, when they play Thousand Devil and they just open up to that or something like
Yeah,
their
but
looks to kill.
He's gonna be
Looks to
shouting
kill.
every other word. That's the
Girls,
problem.
girls.
Hey,
Oh,
just by the way, Todd, before you go to that concert, make sure you play that video over so you can remember the words.
yeah. Well, I don't.
The song.
I don't
like
I don't-
random foods.
Listen, I'm not the one that's gonna sing it. I know I don't know the words.
Shout, devil. I mean, that's he cannot finish his sentence.
Let's see if he can. Let's see if he can. Let's see if he can.
It is really bad. Like, I just,
Come on, guy. Come on,
Which-
Sean.
which-
You're a big Motley fan. You're a
I
big
am.
Motley fan.
I'm a huge Motley Crue
So
fan.
am I.
It's just it's so
Top
sad
5 for
now.
me.
It's just so sad. I mean,
God,
Motley's the best. Motley's
Vince has
so good.
never been able to even
No,
get
hold
the
on,
same
hold on,
arena
hold on.
as
I will
John Bon
argue
Jovi.
this.
No, I'll
Vince-
say this.
well, hold on.
Look, Vince is in the same class as John Bon Jovi, and John sucks now.
Hold
John Dawkins sucks
Hold
now.
on.
David Coverdale can't sing now.
Can I?
Vince has no chance. He's done.
Hold on. Let's not
done.
pretend like.
I mean, just look at the guy. The guy looks like he can't do anything anymore.
He looks like Bumble.
He's like done living. He's just
are
done
we
being
done?
a human.
Are we
He's-
done?
all the human has left
Let's-
Vince Neil. He's just a pile of rubble now.
Todd,
Grandpa,
saying
Grandpa,
Vince
is that
Neil-
you?
All I can say, Todd, is saying that Vince Neil is going to be fantastic is like saying you and I are going to have more viewers than the Bourbon Junkies next week. It's not going to happen. No matter how
Oh, I
much
think-
we want it to happen, it won't
Well,
happen.
You might, because I think that they're not going to be able to go on.
No,
next
Cheech
week.
will go on, and he'll have more than us.
Cheats are going. He'll still have 18 times more than we do.
Whatever.
All right, Andy. Good night, Andy.
Good night, Andy.
No, now they're kicking me out. Well, I
No,
leave
my
it.
point is,
Sorry.
Vince has never been a great live singer. He never has been. Never has been.
Well,
Have you ever-
okay. I mean, Tyler, if you go back and watch the early stuff, there's still live recordings back then.
Great. Not like
They-
he's.
a lo-
Hold on. I should say
Okay.
he's never been a great singer, right? Outside
Yeah,
of
but I think what made up for it is I mean, he was a
Yes.
hell of a showman.
correct. I
back
agree.
in the day.
So
Uh,
lose some weight and be able to move some.
But David Lee
somewhat.
Roth is also a hell of a showman now, but he can't sing. It's just he's done. Vince is done.
Shut up, Andy.
I
I'm
hate
gonna-
to tell you, you're
I'm
not
gonna-
going to be happy.
Andy,
He's done.
I'm not
Yeah,
leaving
but
until I know for sure he can't
Here's
sing.
the difference, though, Ron. Is like I feel bad for Mick. Like Mick has a disease that's like killing him.
It's true.
Vince is just gave up on life.
Does,
He
so
just
does
like
Vince. Vince is called overeating. It's and it's still killing him too. It's just
Come on. Can we?
Appreciate
Can we?
you, Joe.
Hold
Thank
on.
you so
If-
much,
if we
man.
can we agree this though? If he could put those things aside, and I don't know, it would be an amazing concert, right?
Can
Motley-
we agree that if Republicans and Democrats got along, that things would be better? That's not going to happen. It's just not real.
when
It
Jesus
doesn't
comes
exist.
back, the world would be
Yeah,
a better
so-
place, Todd.
It's
So let's
true.
just,
Anyway,
let's
All
just
right.
stop
Well, let's vote
pretending.
for us all
Okay.
then, right, John?
Yeah.
Hey, let's
but,
hit.
in the meantime, though, we got Vince, and it's
yeah,
not
we're
great.
in trouble. Then we're in trouble. Dang.
I mean, here's my thing. We talked about this before. I really wish, as much as I hate to say it, because I know people will be upset because it's not really Motley Crue then. They need to replace the singer with someone who can actually sing, somebody that gets it. There's plenty of people in the rock genre.
Todd would rather a bad, fat, bloated Vince screw up Motley Crue.
No, I don't have that nostalgia or whatever.
No, listen to me. I don't want a scab in there. I'm tired of scabs saying that they're this. Okay,
and I'm tired of people who are original sucking. It's not.
There's degrees of sucking,
and
the band's still tight, right? I want Vince up there. I want Mick up there. I want Nikki and I want Tommy. That's who I want. That's Motley Crue.
Nikki, Tommy, and Mick.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go watch.
I've watched it.
Lizzie Hale cover "Still of the Night."
Listen,
and tell me it's not freaking killer.
But I don't want
she
Lizzie
rocks.
Hale
She will blow your freaking mind.
Yeah, she may.
If she went up there and did Vince's part with Motley Crue, it would be the best show you've ever seen.
No, I would never go.
Right, so let me ask you a question.
I'd never go to that.
If you have the ability to sit through either set, an entire set of Motley Crue with a capable lead singer like, let's say, Sebastian Bach replaces Vince Neil.
Debate that he can sing anymore either.
Okay, well, let's just say you get somebody who's a good singer and can do a whole set of Motley Crue.
Nope.
Or you want a piss poor set of Vince huffing and puffing, belly up like, oh, I can do this, but I gotta go absolutely sucking. What do you want?
No, I don't want either. I want.
Then why are we even staying for Crue? We leave after
because I think that Vince can still do it.
You're stupid.
I hope so, Todd. I really in my heart of hearts, I really hope he can. But based on I've seen a lot of recent lives, Todd, and it's not looking good, man.
Earlier today, I saw a unicorn flying over a rainbow above my hotel. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Also now,
did you get a chance to smell its farts?
Yeah. It had little cloud dust that said Vince will be great. I mean,
also in recent news, Todd. Also, all the Pappies just showed up at my door and they're free.
Listen,
look, Todd. The God's honest truth is, I hope that Vince does really good because, unfortunately, when they get to Los Angeles, Motley's not the headliner. Def Leppard is, and so I got to sit through Motley.
Yeah, you do. We're lucky.
We're lucky. We get Leppard first.
We get Leppard right now.
2 songs in, if that bastard can't sing a tune, I'm out of there.
You got to give me at least 3 songs. You got to get warmed up.
So Bobby, Bad X Bourbon says, my buddy just ran a Spartan race on Sunday, and David Coverdale ran it and finished at 70 years old. That's freaking awesome.
Todd, do you think Vince Neil will be able to finish that?
No, he would die of a heart attack or a stroke. Within a mile.
I'm done with the Motley Crue Vince Neil bashing. You all can suck
Let's put it this way. If the first song that they sing that they go ahead and do is freaking Home Sweet Home, because that's the only one that Vince can carry the tune with.
No, that's not what.
Then just freaking leave.
It'll probably be like Shout the Devil.
I saw on the set list Vince is going to be fine for the first song. He'll be okay. It's an instrumental. After that,
you know what? I don't know. I don't think I can go with this.
So is Children of the Beast? Is that the first song? Is that the opening song?
Sean, I thought you were a Motley fan.
I am.
I love Motley too,
You're
Todd,
crushing.
but Vince is terrible now.
Okay, here's the thing, Todd. I've never been a Vince Neil fan. I've always been a Nikki Sixx fan and Mick Mars fan.
Listen, am I saying he's the best singer ever? But he is Motley. His voice is part of Motley Crue. You can't put.
I would rather the same way that
it's the same thing with others.
AC/DC pulled in Axl Rose to fill in for Brian Johnson.
Listen,
I'd rather see Axl Rose fill in for Vince than see that.
Listen, listen. We're getting crazy here. We're talking crazy stuff.
I'll do it with my favorite band as well. I love Metallica. I love them to death. They're probably my. If they're not my favorite band, it would take me a while to come up with another one that I would listen to more than Metallica. But I think Lars is a douchebag. So
everyone thinks Lars is a douchebag.
So it's the same thing. I love Motley Crue, but I've never.
I'm not saying he's not. Listen, but you can't say that. Listen, I actually think Hooligan's Holiday, that whole album with John Corabi, it sounded great. It was good. It's not the Motley Crue that I love. I'm sorry, it's not.
I got you.
It's not.
It's the Motley Crue that can sing.
Andy, that's bullshit because Vince could sing Could.
Todd, I'm going to be completely unbiased and say that there was about 10 years ago a time when I saw Joe and I was like,
I know what you're saying.
He gained weight. He wasn't looking good. He wasn't singing well.
So let me ask you
this. You know what he did? He got a vocal coach, and he started losing a ton of weight. He started
do you remember when we
Vince has had 2 years of the pandemic to get ready for this, and
Maybe
still looks like a bloated blob.
Wait, have you seen a recent picture of him? Have you seen a recent picture of him?
Yes, and he still looks the same.
No, you have. There's been nothing on social media.
On Instagram.
No, show it to me. Show it to me.
We're not going to talk about 6 a.m.
Newsflash: if you're looking for 1986 Vince to show up with the long flowing locks, he's still going to show up in the one outfit that fits him, and he's only going to get through half a song. Just saying.
That may be true, and if it is, we will leave. I'm just telling you. I'm hoping. That's not the case. I don't even need him being on his game. Just sing songs.
Well, I hope that Selma Hayek would come to my room every night
and let me rock out. I want to rock out. I want to rock out with. I just want to do it one more time.
Then enjoy Poison and Leopard.
I will.
And Joan Jett.
No, Joan Jett's okay.
You're a misogynist.
I'm not a misogynist. I know like 3 songs from the Black Heart. All right, that's all I know. Whatever.
Oh man, you guys are the best.
What are you talking about? Todd's gonna be up there. Do you want to touch? Hey, do you?
That's right. I love that. She's from Maryland. Yes. I'm from Maryland. You think I listen? I love that. She's from Maryland.
Todd doesn't like girls. He likes Joe Graves.
Jesus Christ. I thought you were leaving like a half an hour ago.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Hey. Just before you go, yeah. I gotta share something because here's the thing, Todd. This is the Vince that I want. This is the Vince I want.
Oh, okay.
And he's gone. He's gone. He doesn't exist anymore.
Oh no, what are you doing?
He's gone. But this is the Vince I want. And he doesn't exist anymore.
Nikki Sixx. He doesn't exist. Well, neither's that Nikki Sixx either.
Yeah, but he can still do the things he needs to do. Let's just skip ahead here.
Okay, what is going on here? What are we watching here? Oh hell yes. Amazing.
Now watch this Vince in his stage presence, and I mean, look at this guy.
Yes. Well, yeah, he's 65 years old now, Sean. I mean,
he's not 65 years old.
How old is he, Andy?
He's not 65.
Let's see how old he is. Let me see. How old do you think he is? How old is Vince Neil?
Approaching 60.
Look at him go.
He's 61 years old, Andy. 61.
Hey, but you know what, Sean, though? Even if you could get Vince,
61, Andy.
If you can get Vince from the Saints of Los Angeles tour.
Come on, guys. He's 61 years old. They're all in their 60s. No, you're not going to get that. This is bullshit. We're not even. Well, I love Def Leppard, Andy.
Todd,
I'm not like they are.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we're so far away from that now that it's not even a show anymore.
But just sing the words, right? Don't mumble every Tuesday. That's all I want.
Todd, I could do that.
So could I.
I could do that right here for you for free.
All right, I'm done. I don't know what to do.
Here's the thing. I'm paying for a show. I'm paying a pricey ticket. Let's be fair.
A free ticket. He's giving me a free ticket.
Brett Michaels.
These are not cheap tickets. All right. So if you're paying that kind of money, you're paying for a show, and Vince can't deliver the show.
So hold on. So Sean, would you pay that money for Def Leppard, Poison, and Joan Jett, with knowing that Motley Crue might suck?
Joan Jett, no. I would probably pay it for Def Leppard. I mean, based on their new album.
They can still sing.
So,
Poison's great.
Poison, yeah.
Have you seen?
I wish Bret Michaels would just own his baldness and stop with
Have you seen CC DeVille?
He looks like a mountain man.
He's got like a big beard and everything. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, Todd. I think that's a good look though. Like
it is.
If you're bald and you got the beard thing going.
CC DeVille. He's got hair, but he also has this huge now. It's bigger than Stan. It's like a mountain man.
Yeah, he looks like he's still.
He looks like a mountain. Go just challenge. Go to Instagram right now and CC DeVille. Just go look at it. It's
bottom line is
bring it up,
is
Sean.
Brett
Bring it up,
Michaels is 59.
CC DeVille on Instagram.
Vince
Look at his
Neil
picture.
is 61.
It's crazy.
Joel
It's
is
almost
62.
you would never know it's CC DeVille.
So here's the thing, too, right?
I'm not kidding you.
The one thing about Brett Michaels that nobody's saying is that he was never a great singer to begin with.
He copied kicks and took their show. And
he was just a standard run of the mill glam metal freaking singer, just like Blackie Lawless, just like a lot of those guys.
No, I mean
that was in a band with very, very talented guys.
Andy, look at Brad. We love that
and pulled it off.
Of the singers of kind of that generation, hair metal, Bach was my favorite. But
he fried himself. He fried himself.
Yeah,
he sucks.
I disagree. I used to think it was all Sebastian Bach until Skid Row went through 18,000 lead singers but kept the original members. And I'm thinking back to my old ex-girlfriend, right? Her first roommate, she was like, yeah, she's a bitch. I can't stand her. And so she got a new roommate. And then she couldn't stand the next roommate. And then she couldn't stand the next roommate. And I'm thinking, after 3 roommates, maybe you're the problem. I think Skid Row, the issue is that these guys, it's not Sebastian Bach. He's even reached out to try and get back with them. The rest of the guys,
I would pay any amount of money to see Skid Row back together again. I love it.
So would I.
So no, Stanley doesn't agree with that.
Let's be fair, and no homo, but Sebastian Bach was also the sexiest MF on the planet when he was young. I mean, the guy is a freaking Greek god.
Outside of Ronnie James Dio, yes.
So
I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
So in the chat earlier, I put when you were doing the Slave to the Grind thing.
I love that album. God, I love that
album. Skid Row's great, but if I was to pick a whiskey, it would have been Johnny Smoking Gun because Sebastian Bach is a drain pour.
He might be. I don't know, dude. Drain pour? What? Why?
The dude's look. I've literally been in the same room with the guy.
Is he an asshole?
He's a fucking dude.
Okay, well we're not talking about personalities.
Yeah, I don't know that.
But the last time I did see him before the pandemic, and because my Cobra and the Lotus, I'm friends with the band, and they were opening up for him, and his voice was completely fried. It was the same thing that I saw 2 weeks earlier with Don Dawkins. I was so pissed that I spent money.
This is ironic. Jesus. So I told you I used to take vocal lessons from Steve Whiteman of Kicks. And so one of the things that after every session I would always ask 1 or 2 old school 80s questions, just to tell me a little bit about what it was like back
history,
in the day,
right? Yeah.
So, and he told me about we toured with Def Leppard back in Towson, they opened
81 or 82.
It was crazy. He the guys were cool, we had a good time. He talked about the guys that he liked and some of the bands that were fun to tour with. I said, how about the guys who weren't that cool? And he said, I'll tell you right now, Don Dawkins is an asshole. He said that guy is a complete and total jerk. And
he didn't like Triumph either, right? Triumph, right? The other one, Triumph. The what's the guy's name from Triumph?
Rick Emmett.
Rick Emmett. He didn't like Rick Emmett.
I don't remember him mentioning Triumph, but he just said he definitely said Don Dawkins was just a complete jerk. And he was not, Todd, fond of Poison. He's
they reconciled. Well, you know why that was, right?
Well, of course.
They stole their show.
They stole their show.
And went west.
But even though they still were reconciled, I think there's still some animosity there. But yeah.
Now they've made up. I mean,
everyone says they make up.
That's true.
I don't buy it.
Maybe not. I mean, how are you going to make up for 20 years of Poison's big and they're not?
He was very clear. He's like Don Dawkins. And look, George Lynch will tell you Dawkins a jerk. Jeff Pilson will tell you Don Dawkins a jerk. Mick Brown.
Yeah, but George Lynch will still do a payday with Don Dawkins and take it.
Guitarists are kind of they're almost like drummers for hire sometimes. It's if you can Red Beach has been in so many bands.
Look at that ex-Bourbon, Andy. We got to hook up with these guys because look at he just said about Kicks. We're from Maryland, and Kicks are our favorite, one of our favorite bands of all time.
Steve's badass. He's a great guy.
Steve Whiteman. Cool. Yeah, dude.
Oh, no,
badass.
when Blow My Fuse first came out, I was like one of the very first people that I knew that even knew who they were.
And you were in California, right? Because
I was in California.
Yeah,
I was
Kix
in California.
An East Coast band. They were a big time East Coast band.
Well, but you got to think California was really huge on the tape trade.
Yeah, okay.
Where you would get a bootleg tape from somebody, they would get a bootleg tape. I had Poison Look What the Cat Dragged In almost a year before it even came out.
Wow.
And because when you'd go down and people would just trade tapes that were from you go down to LA and meet up with people and trade tapes. And so I heard Blow My Fuse probably about 3 or 4 months before it got released, and freaking I love that. I mean, I'm not saying
I think outside of
I love that freaking song.
Outside of one song, I think Hotwire's the better album.
I do too.
It just came out at the wrong time.
Yeah, it came out in 92, 93.
I think Kix is just such an underrated
Kix is awesome.
band.
Bourbon Rendezvous. Yes, Bourbon Rendezvous. Yeah, all right. 2 channels. We got to hook up with.
Just a ridiculously underrated band. All right, on that note, I really have got to get out of here.
It's almost 2 o'clock.
Andy, one second. I'm gonna show you my last artist, and then you guys can go. You can go out while you listen to it if you want.
Perfect.
Maybe you guys have heard of this guy. Maybe you haven't. His name is Sean James. I love him.
Sean James.
This is, and I don't love him because we share the first name, but
he has 2 first names.
He doesn't like these. He doesn't like those people.
And he doesn't trust them.
He doesn't trust them. He doesn't touch them.
But in any case, so this is his cover of "Number of the Beast," which is my favorite Maiden song. And here we go. I'm gonna share.
Is it Sean singing this?
Which, by the way, Wigwam's first album was called 667 Neighbor of the Beast.
Well, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit.
Oh shit! That's awesome.
That's phenomenal.
Where's his vocals at?
Different type of melody to it too. It's
I love this dude. He's got a bunch of great stuff, but if I had to pick one, it would be Live at Heartbreak House.
I like that style where you can take a song that's so iconic,
strip it down,
your own,
right?
Make it
strip
different.
it down. Well, you strip it down, yeah.
I mean, I think Todd was able to do it with the milkshake. I thought he made it his own.
It's true.
And it was just really good.
I'm one of my own, right? I'm one of the most famous Todds out there. So
and
he is a Renaissance man for sure. Yeah.
As Todds come, I'm pretty popular.
Since you're the one, you're the last one alive.
I'm the last one.
Last Todd standing.
There's not a lot of us out there, so it's not much.
All right, I love you guys.
I gotta go to it.
I know you guys do. Appreciate you hanging out for so long,
guys. Rock. Love you both.
Thanks,
guys. Talk to you guys later.
All right, cheers, guys.
You guys both have a great night. Appreciate
Andy, I'll see you, brother.
All right, man. See you.
See you, man.
But now we still have one more to go, folks. Stanley's last pick.
So let me throw out a couple honorable mentions real quick.
Well, okay, actually, so let me do one thing first. So I didn't pair my whiskey with it. So to me, that has Sean James in general has lots of dark tones, and to me, it's coming from this kind of like older place in music. This is not. None of it's very new. These is old folk tones and blues tones and old rock. And so this is the highest age bourbon I have, Sam Houston 15. Lots of dark tones, old stuff here. I thought that was a good pair. Anyway, now, Stanley, let's hear it.
So my honorable mentions are Paranoid by Black Sabbath and Anthrax Among the Living. Those are 2 of my favorite albums, but they're not my number one perfect album. My number one perfect album is by a band. Okay, today this album would not fly.
Okay, I like it.
But it is a group called the Stormtroopers of Death, and the album is called Speak English or Die.
All right, so you just off the title of the album already. We're in deep water. So
this is a it's a, how do you say it? It's a super group. the lead singer from MOD, Scott Ian and Charlie Benante from Anthrax. So they put this as a joke, put this together and stuff. And what it is, it's 21 songs. No song is more than 2 minutes and 23 seconds long. Or I'm sorry, 2 minutes and 32 seconds long. And they have songs like, let's just say, like I said, it would not shoot. It would not get. They have one called "The Ballad of Jimi Hendrix." It's 5 seconds long. You got to listen to it. But the one's called "Milk." One's called "Milk," and the tagline is "I want some milk." That's pretty much the song.
Okay.
But "Chromatic Death," which is also known as the theme, one of the themes from the Headbangers Ball. March of the SOD is actually the Headbangers Ball theme from the original Headbangers Ball. But then they got like Douche Crew, Fuck the Middle East, Pussy Whipped, Premenstrual Princess Blues.
That is a heck of a title. I like
yes.
That feels like something that would be on a Rob Zombie album or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a joke. It was a kind of a joke band they put together, and the idea was there was a band at the time, some other punk bands in the area that were making these albums that were only like songs that were a minute and a half long or 45 seconds long. So they were making a joke out of it and made this album, but it took off. And they actually went on a tour as an opening act for like a year and a half. And they've actually had 2 or 3 different albums they've done live albums with. And the other thing is that when you said compilation album earlier, I didn't want to put no compilation albums on, but the perfect compilation album is Live After Death, Iron Maiden.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, so if I had to pick a Hendrix album, it would be "Are You Experienced?" But but then you don't. There's so many songs you miss out on. Yeah, so I mean, and even still, even on the Jimi Hendrix Experience or whatever the hell the compilation's called, you still don't get some of his blues stuff like Catfish Blues or When My Train Comes In or whatever. What's that? No, that's not. What is the thing with the train? Hear My Train Coming, which is one of my favorite Hendrix songs. Neither of those are on there. So, yeah, I mean, there's no way to get everything on one album, which sucks. But either way, love it. Love me some Hendrix. And and clearly Ron loves some SOD. So there you go.
Yeah, so the my big thing is too is that
appreciate you, Bobby. Thanks, man.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with I don't have any problems with Hendrix other than the fact that he was a great guitar player. He did do some really awesome songs. I don't like the fact that he's more famous for doing covers than he is his own actual songs.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because
all along the Watchtower is an awesome song. Myself personally, I've always liked the Bob Dylan version of it better. But that's
really because not even Bob Dylan does.
I know, but it's just like I like the obscurity of Bob Dylan. I have this. Everybody knows he's not a great singer, but he's one of the greatest songwriters ever freaking lived. So I've always liked that. I've always liked his own versions of his songs that other people have done have been great, but I've always liked his versions of them better because they're the raw, real way that he wanted to do the songs to begin with.
Yeah, I got you.
But like songs like Little Wing are freaking awesome. But
well, I mean, so Catfish Blues is a cover. But so some of my other favorites that are not is Red House, which is just, a blues song, but Jimmy wrote that. Also Voodoo Child is probably my favorite. If it probably is my favorite. That's another original by Jimi Hendrix. And, it's been covered a billion times by anybody that does blues or rock. And although All Along the Watchtower is a cover, it's so completely different from the original that it's, I mean, it's still a cover, sure. I mean, there's no way to get around that. But, I don't know. It's it's not a cover that's completely different. And like now we have metal bands covering pop. It's not that. I mean, there's certainly some genius there in the way that Jimmy went about covering that. So,
well, yeah. And then my thing is too is that so I went to this thing out here called the Jimi Hendrix Experience. It was a tour that goes around. It usually goes around every year, and then the pandemic kind of killed it. And it was out here, and it was Zach Wilde, Doyle Bramwell, Doyle Bramwell III, Buddy Guy, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Johnny Lang, Eric Johnson, and like I can't remember who all. I mean, there's just so many freaking guitarists. And then what they did was they brought in the original bass player from Jimi Hendrix's original Experience band. I believe the son of the drummer, because the drummer had passed away or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool because they were playing with all these other guitarists, and it was the thing that Zach Wilde was really like super involved in, and so he was like kind of like their quote unquote headliner, but he was playing keyboard through the whole concert until it was his time to play guitar.
Oh,
so that was really cool.
At first, I thought you were going to say he played keyboard the whole time. I was like, "What in the hell is happening? Why? Why?"
But yeah. So, and I mean, like I said, I like Hendrix and everything else. He's not. I won't say he's not one of my favorite guitarists, but he's not. I can easily say he's not in my own personal top 10.
Yeah. No, I mean, he wouldn't be if we're talking favorite guitarist. He wouldn't. I mean, because from a technical standpoint, he was not. I mean, Jimmy was sloppy. But so like when you listen to Voodoo Child, especially live, here's what I appreciate. There's like this kind of parallel between the way that Hendrix played the guitar and the lyrics of Voodoo Child. He's talking about basically bending reality to his will by,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what he did with the guitar. He just made it work. It was sloppy, and and a lot of times he's hitting the wrong notes, and but he would just bend it until it freaking worked.
Yeah.
And so, and so there's like this kind of beauty in this mess. I don't know. He approached things differently because I also appreciate guys that are very technically skilled, like say Buckethead. Very technically skilled, but there's not that. I don't know what you even call it.
There's a level of originality, but there's a level of robotic to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so when it gets too robotic, that's probably the perfect word for it. Then it's, I don't know, you kind of lose the humanness to it, or I don't know, the soul, I guess.
Well, see, it's the one thing is I've always liked about certain guitarists, the Eric Claptons, which if Zach Wilde's not my number one, he'd be number one. Right. I'm a huge fan of Slash. People don't think Slash. Some people don't think Slash is a great guitarist, but I'm sorry. All you got to do is listen to Miles Kennedy and Slash together, and I mean, it's amazing. But no, I just. Like I said, it was like one of those things where, I mean, I could have gone. I had like this whole like 2 pages of perfect albums, what I consider to be perfect albums. And the thing is that when they put it out on the 21090 on the Patreon, it said perfect album from beginning to end, which told me that whatever albums I was going to pick, I couldn't pick anything with any mediocre songs.
Yeah.
So when they started picking some of the albums they picked, I'm like, yeah, but like track 5 through 8 are hot garbage.
I mean, and to me, I don't think that exists. Even like Dark Side of the Moon, there's songs that I love on there, and then there's songs that are, I don't know if they're filler, but they're not highlights. I mean because. Well, I think too. Here's what helps Dark Side of the Moon. That came from a time when your track list was how many tracks is Dark Side of the Moon? 8, 10?
It's 8, I think.
Yeah,
I want to say it's 8 or I think.
So it's easier to make 8 to 10 good songs than making 15. And so for bands that came around in the era where you're putting out 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 or more tracks, you're going to have some fillers. So,
well, it was 9. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, in that respect, I don't know. It's hard for me to, because I could nitpick almost any album and say, like, really? So this song, you're going to listen to it every time you listen to the album? Really? Every single time? You're not ever going to skip it? Because I don't know.
Right.
It's a weird criteria to me. But so what I did is I just picked albums that for me were iconic, I guess, in my own life, or albums that, I mean, I could still basically listen to the whole thing today and be fine with that. So,
well, the thing with the Dark Side of the Moon with me is the same thing with Quadrophenia with the Who.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the I mean, Quadrophenia. There's only very few freaking songs that are good. The difference is that if you sit in between 4 speakers and you listen to those 2 albums,
yeah, in full stereo.
Full stereo. There is not 2 better albums ever made.
Yeah.
Because when you feel on Money, when you feel the cash register go through your body to the other freaking speaker, it literally does something to you, to where you, I mean,
I know.
You can feel music, but until you physically it jars you so badly because it's going from back behind you to in front of you on the left, then goes over to the right, and you're trying to follow it, and it comes back through you again to the back. Whew.
So, Stanley, my dad is a huge Pink Floyd fan. So when I was about 5 years old, I kind of asked him, because, I'm 5. I don't know anything about music. And so he was doing that. He had a pretty nice sound system. He had 2 speakers like this, and he's laying on the floor between them. And I was like,
I still do that.
And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm just listening to my album. I was like, well, why are you laying on the floor? I didn't have any concept of what I didn't even know what stereo was at 5. And so he what is the song with the helicopter and it flies across.
Oh, friggin' god dang it. Is it not Us and Them, is it?
It might be. But anyway, so he said, well, just come here. So he got up and he laid me down and he put that on, and just like you're saying, and you feel like it feels like the helicopter's flying over you. And like I'd never felt anything like that. And so then they started doing that with other Pink Floyd. I mean, because Pink Floyd they did that on a lot of their albums.
The Wall, Momentary Lapse of Reason. Yeah.
And so, that change, another life-changing experience. So I have no argument against Dark Side of the Moon, because that is a phenomenal album.
Yeah, and then I was trying to do something different besides like freaking just the standard stand metal thing and everything else, but I mean, because there's plenty of metal albums I could have brought up, but most people wouldn't know what I was talking about. I can't, if I said The Black Halo by Camelot, they would have been like, "What the fuck is that?" If I would have said the Bell Witch, or most people don't know who freaking Rivers of Nil are, and so it's like, and it's a metal band that uses saxophones but freaking stuff like that, but. Yeah, so, and then, and that's the thing, is that it's really cool about music in general, not just the metal part of it, is that I listen to absolutely everything, and I don't think there's any such thing as bad music. Mumble rap is really close to being bad.
It's bad music. I'll just go ahead and say it for everybody else. It's bad music.
But I've always been a person that believes that there's something in every style of music that can be used, or something that's interesting about it.
Well, okay, so I don't want to go on a crazy rant about mumble rap, but here's why I don't think there's anything redeeming, because there's aspects of it that are in other forms of hip hop that are better in those forms of hip hop. So I think there's, like, beat wise, I think like Outkast was doing similar kind of style beats 2 decades before mumble rap came along. I think Lil Wayne did, I think he was probably the jumping off point for mumble rap, and everything he did is better than any mumble rapper will ever do. So it just, all of it seems unnecessary. Like there's nothing about it that makes me say, okay, this needs to exist. Because there's always something else. And I mean, yeah, I would, yeah, I just, we could talk hip hop, but I cannot get behind mumble rap, and I love hip hop. So I think that's why it hurts me, is because that's the other part, is it's lost the art form. Because
oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, because to me the art form is the rhyme schemes, and I when I'm not watching metal stuff, I'm watching like hip hop videos, and usually like hip hop breakdown videos talking about rhyme schemes. I mean, and when you watch masters of the craft, like say an Andre 3000 or an Eminem or a Rakim or somebody like that, and you look at their rhyme schemes, and sometimes when you're listening to them, you don't even pick up all the different rhyme schemes that they're throwing out there, and so that is gone. Like mumble rap, that has killed that, and that's the beauty of the art. So I mean, to me anyway. So
well, there's truthfully not a whole lot of. I mean, I can't. I don't even know when the last time I listened to the freaking radio is. Truthfully, I usually just go on YouTube Music or Spotify, and then I go, I want to listen to this band, and then it says recommendations, and if there's a new band I've never seen before, I listen to them, see if I like them or I don't.
Yeah.
I have this thing I call 6 degrees of separation. 6 degrees of Spotify.
Okay.
And it's basically the same thing as 6 degrees separation, except for what I do is I put in a band, say Slayer or whatever. Okay, Slayer, freaking
You have to yell it if you're gonna.
Yeah, and then what'll happen is they'll have recommendations. So let's say they give you 10 recommendations. You do a random number generator, pick a number between 1 and 10. 5. It goes to go to the 5th band. Write down the 10 bands that were there. We'll go to the 5th band, then go to their page, and you're more than likely going to get at least 6 different other bands that you never heard of before or whatever. You do that 6 times, now you've got like 50 or 60 bands you can listen to. It'll take you a whole week.
Yeah.
And at least 25 to 30% of those bands are bands you've never heard of before, and you end up discovering other bands you didn't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that every week. So freaking when I go to work, when I get to work, I pick a band, go through the 6 degrees during my first break, and then after my first break, I just plug it into Spotify or into YouTube Music and push play and go to work. So
see, I do that fairly often. I wish I had more time to do it. That I'm probably going to announce it here soon. So Ron, you're the first to hear it, because there's only 3 people watching us. So I'm probably going to be cutting back on my YouTube schedule. I'm probably going to be going back to 2 videos a week like I was doing. And then also just being on less lives. I mean, the last month or so, I've been on a live about every day, and it's too much. It's way too much. Taking up too much time. I'm not spending enough time with the wife. I got to do other things. So, and I love the community. It's just that I gotta cut back some. So, anyway, so Ron, you're probably the first to hear it, as well as the other 2 people that are here, whoever you may be.
Just don't bail on Anthony.
No. So there's a few spots that are gonna continue to be, I'm gonna keep showing up. So.
Well, because I just know you and Anthony, even when Livewire goes on or whoever's going to go on, that you guys just have a good old time. Just the 2 of you by yourself on the channel talking back and forth. So,
yeah, I mean, and if Charles ever gets back in a place where his schedule allows him to go lives again, me and him have kind of talked offline about maybe him taking Fridays, And I'll do Saturdays because we were sharing Saturdays, but I don't think that's really good for either channel because then folks don't really know where to go, and so I think we both need a set schedule. It's just that Charles' schedule's not great right now. So, but yeah, I mean, Charles and Anthony, those are my guys. So anytime they're live, I try and hop on. But I'm probably going to start kind of limiting it to that. So, and yeah, Five Finger. So that's an album that just barely didn't make the cut. Five Finger, Way of the Fist is it's really, it was so close to making it. It's just, I thought, okay, I need more than just metal on here. So I took it off, but I love that album. So I actually, that was one of the first concerts I went to. A buddy introduced me to Five Finger when they first came out. He like got it day it came out, sent me the album. I was like, man, this is ridiculous. I mean, like they were just so aggressive, and so and like they were aggressive in a way that was still like it wasn't just screamo and just raw. It wasn't that, like, because like clearly. Why am I spacing right now? The guy with the bald head that has the bat and the full beard. Ivan. Okay. Clearly, Ivan can sing. Ivan can sing his ass off. So, I mean, if you follow him on Instagram, the dude can freaking sing. So, and Zoltan's freaking awesome with the dreads. I love the band. So that was really close to making it into the cut, but I was like, you know what? Let me mix it up a little bit here.
I would have freaking if you'd have brought that one up, I would have been like, the greatest freaking one of the greatest freaking Five Finger Death Punch lyrics in the freaking world. 1, 2, fuck you.
Well, I mean,
dude, freaking Lay the Fist, freaking when he at the beginning of that song when he's like, Zoltan, open the sky. Oh yeah, that's just like freaking. Man. And the bleeding is freaking an amazing freaking song. That's the thing that sucked is that the way that Five Finger went. I'm still a Five Finger Death Punch fan. I've seen him like 9 times. I'll go see him all day long because I know they're gonna do the bleeding.
Yeah,
and Ivan goes off during that song.
Such a good song.
And yeah, so when the first 2-3 albums were freaking phenomenal, and then they became big, became popular, started doing covers,
Wayne, how we doing, man,
and stuff like that. And it's just like, and then that the last one with Champagne, I was like, oh my god, what the hell are these guys doing? No wonder freaking army wives love these guys. But freaking
yeah, I mean, the thing is though, is that on that album, there are some good songs. It's just,
the Way of the Fist is the raw, one of the most raw freaking like, where the fuck did this come from albums that you've.
That album just literally beats your ass as you listen to it.
Well, that's the thing too, is right. The people don't give it the credit that it's due because they forgot about it. Because the Way of the Fist, when it came out, was like it kicked everybody in the fucking nuts the way that Cowboys from Hell came when it came out. Kicked
absolutely.
Everybody.
It was something that same feel, that just rawness. Yeah.
Step to me, motherfucker.
I mean,
dude,
still to this day, White Knuckles is one of my favorite favorite metal songs of all time, because it's just if you're in that mindset where you're incredibly angry, there is no better song ever written. I don't care. I mean, I'm taking back control with my knuckles. That is the greatest lyrical line of all time. I mean, if you are feeling the rage, that is exactly how you feel.
All right. Well, I said I was only going to be on for a few minutes. It turned into 2 hours.
Yeah. We killed it tonight, man. No, I appreciate you. I know you got to be up crazy early. I don't. Yeah. So I thank you, Stanley, for hanging out, man.
Hey, and just real quick. If you want to do anything like this with after 21090, whatever, if you just reach out to me during 21090. I can make a decision right there of what's going on with work and stuff like that.
Next time I'll shoot you a text. That way I'm not putting you on the spot in chat. I was just excited.
Well, no, you didn't put me on spot in chat. What it was is that you sent me the text. I was actually on my phone in my room in the chat when you sent me the text. I just saw the text across the top of my screen, and I just immediately answered it on the freaking chat.
I got
instead of clicking text, clicking the text itself, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, well." And then you're like, "Oh, I see it in the I see it in the chat." But no, I appreciate it. This kind of got me a little jazzed up about doing this stuff. So
me too, man. Like, I mean,
because there's not 21090 is the only people that freaking none of the other channels I hang out on or whatever with Livewire, even with Anthony, with any of those guys, they're not really talking about music and whatever. It's just it's just a lot of partying and freaking being at the bar type situation is what it seems like a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
This is something I enjoy.
Cool, but yeah, I agree. And so, I mean, me and you, we've kicked this idea around a lot, and just schedules don't, work out. But
yeah, it doesn't happen. And I definitely don't want you to worry about scheduling me in with. I don't want to get on your wife. Your wife is freaking Latin, and I do not want to. I don't fuck with Latin women. They have no problem stabbing a motherfucker. So,
that is not a lie. She's actually done it. So
yeah. So, oh, by the way, did you watch the Shelf Turds thing Saturday?
No, so that's when me and Bourbon and Paul, Whiskey Food Dude, and Mark from Northwest Bourbon, that's when we were up in Bardstown just going crazy, driving around hunting, and yeah.
How tall are you? Because I didn't realize how tall you were until I saw the picture of all you guys, and you're like way taller than everybody else.
Yeah, I'm fairly tall. I'm like 6'3" with boots on. I'm like 6'5", something like that.
Okay, so you're about the same height as I am. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know Northwest Bourbon's not a really small guy.
No, I'm just big. I'm pretty tall. Yeah.
Yeah, and you still are wearing them. You're still wearing them long sleeve cowboy shirts untucked with your jeans and your boots and your hat, even when you're out and hanging out drinking in Bardstown.
So here's the thing: is that now it's to the point where it's part of the brand, And here's the thing: is that while we were out, people, other Whiskey Tube personalities, or just people that are in chat, like the Turks, they came up to me first because they spotted me like from across the room. Like we were at Bardstown and they were eating, and they're like, and Katie told me, she's like, I didn't see anybody else, but I saw the hat, and I was like, is that Sean? And so she came over. We were in the gift shop, and so then we got to meet the Turks, and we got to chat for a while. And so that wouldn't have happened, if I wasn't in my normal deal. So, because granted, I'm not always wearing a cowboy hat, obviously, and I'm not always wearing Western style shirts, but it's kind of become part of the brand. So I kind of roll with it when I'm out and about doing whiskey stuff because of that.
Yeah. So you just like Northwest Bourbon contacted you and said, "Hey, I'm going to be in freaking Bardstown on these days, or wherever you want to come hang out," or
no? So this is how it went. So Bourbon was like, "Hey, I'm going to be down in Kentucky, and I'm going to be doing some picks with Mash and Journey. Can you meet up with me?" And I was like, maybe, it depends on the day. And so we worked out that. And then Paul, and then he was like chatting with Paul, Whiskey Food Dude. And he was like, hey, I'll come up from Tennessee as well. And so Mark had been here in Kentucky, but he was out at Fort Knox doing stuff, military stuff.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. He's stationed. He's out here for a while.
Yeah, he's going to be here 23 days. He's about halfway through that now. And so up until now, because he texted me as soon as before he even come out here, he was like, hey, man, we got to meet up. And up until this point, he had not had time to get off base. He was just stuck there doing stuff. And so it just happened to work out that he got some free time the same time that Bourbon was here and Whiskey Food Dude was here. And so like I'm already driving to Bardstown, and then Mark's like, hey, what are you doing today? we got some free time. Can we meet up? And I was like, well, yeah, why don't you meet us at Bardstown? He's like, all right, cool. So then it just worked out perfect. So we ended up having lunch at Mammy's there in Bardstown, which is amazing. Just Southern food, and it's fantastic. And then we just hit up, let's see, four different distilleries. We didn't do tours because those would take all day, but mainly just kind of chatting with people and then the gift shops, and then Paul had to cut out early because he has like a 6-hour drive back, so he left after Bardstown, and then me and Ben went and did some hunting, and we did some serious hunting all over the place. And how hunting is. It's a lot of hit and miss, but mainly miss. But
did Ben show you some of his secret honey spots?
Oh yeah. And I'm always in and I got to shoot Ben a text because I have an idea for him for content, because we were talking about how he was saying how his channel's kind of stalled, and I feel like a lot of channels are it feels like that the community that's watching is kind of dying off. I don't know what's happening exactly. I don't know if it's YouTube. I don't know if the bourbon bubble has kind of popped. I don't know what's happening exactly, but there's a lot of guys that are complaining about that it seems to be slowing down.
But nobody's changing any of their content. Nobody's.
It's true.
Nobody's doing it. Nobody's doing anything new. I like Ben had this idea where he's had a couple videos where he'd be like, would he buy such and such? And he gives you the answer in the first 10 seconds of the freaking video, and then explains to you why afterwards. And it's something new and everything else, but he has it just kept on going. I mean, he hasn't started slamming it down people's throats or whatever. Everybody's rehashing up old stuff from the five whiskeys you should have on your bar cart, or freaking now what's the new one? The new one is the only 5 whiskeys you can keep.
I'm doing it Saturday, Stanley. So don't blame it too much. But I'm doing it different. You'll see. Anyway,
right.
But I mean,
I'm saying.
I rarely do that stuff. So here's the thing. So if we had not gone live tonight, I thought about recording my 5, and maybe I still will, because we didn't have a ton of viewership tonight. Let's be fair.
Right.
Ron, who's still with us, he's a Patreon, so appreciate you, man. Let's see. Sean, wife just opened up your larceny sample and loves it. Awesome, man. And of course, not something I can find around here. That's great, man. That is great to hear.
Yeah, it's great to hear your wife loves it and you can't find it.
Yeah. We missed. I saw a little bit. So when me and Ben were eating dinner, my phone was about dead. So Ben pulled it up on his phone. We watched a little bit. At that point, Stuff and Whiskey was hula hooping. I'm not really sure what was going on there.
You weren't watching long enough to see mine, did you?
No, we only watched for about 10 minutes. Maybe not even 10 minutes.
Okay, because when you get a chance, go back and I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Okay, all right.
Let's just put it this way. I went out and I made a hat that says Knob Creek or Die, and then I put together.
Does this involve Adriana?
I put together a wig that happened to have a bunch of freaking.
I see.
Black locks, yes, and yeah. She thought she loved it. She freaking sent me messages and stuff saying that is the funniest shit she's ever seen. But yeah, I contacted David earlier today and I was talking to him and stuff, and he's like, "Hey," I said, "Well, if you got any spots open or you need anybody else to jump in, just holler at me." And then 20 minutes later, he's like, "Hey, can you come in at this time?" I was like, "Sure." And so I went out and threw all this stuff together to do it or whatever. But I thought it was cool that you got. I mean, I want to meet Ben someday. Not in a dark alley, but someday. And then freaking, Northwest Bourbon, he's like one of the guys that I definitely want to freaking when he gets back to the West Coast, find a way again to meet up with him. But
he's good.
You know, and then like I got to get myself to Tennessee and Kentucky to meet up with a bunch of people I spend a lot of time with on freaking on YouTube, but I don't get to meet up with. But.
Yeah, there's a few of us here. Yeah, you know, so what was funny is I could tell. So I arrived last at Mammy's for lunch, and I could tell as soon as I walked in, they did not expect me to be wearing the cowboy outfit.
So, they're all in like t-shirts and shorts and shit.
Oh yeah, t-shirts and shorts, yeah. And I was like, no, guys, I am all about it. We're doing this until I die.
But
no, I mean, so I was on with Bobby. I guess he's checked out already. I know he said he had to get in bed, but and he had another guy on there, Raven, who does I guess primarily podcasts, and he kind of called me out for my Western shirt, and so I just briefly said to him like, well, so the cowboy hat is part of my daily life, not this one. Because you know, you wouldn't wear this outside. It's black and it's thick, and you would die. But I wear cowboy hats more like you know straw style when I work outside because they're functional. But the Western shirts is not something I hardly ever wear because you know they're kind of silly. But so the whole way it started is the white shirt that I was wearing in the picture. That's a shirt I actually wear out because it's not so, you know, it's basically just a white shirt with pockets and the buttons. And then somebody in chat was like, hey, do you have any other Western shirts? And at the time I did. I had one, the red one. But I'd never worn it on a video. And they're like, hey, you know, you should wear it. You should wear it in the video. So I was like, okay. And then as soon as I did, everybody was like, oh, I love the shirt. And so then it kind of spiraled out of control from there, and now it's a thing. But, you know, it is what it is.
Well, pretty soon they're going to have you sitting on top of a wooden horse freaking drinking bourbon, so.
It might happen. It might happen.
All right, Sean. I'll go ahead and talk to you later. Let you.
All right. Cheers, man.
Let you talk to Bourbon Rendezvous for a while, okay?
Yeah. There are 3 other people here. I don't know who they are. If you're here, you know, just say hi.
I think there's this Wayne Monpettit.
Yeah, he might still be here.
I think you can actually. I can't remember what it was. You can click participants there. You go.
But anyway, yeah, guys.
No, actually, it's just you, Bourbon Rendezvous, and me. So the 3 are me, you, and Bourbon Rendezvous.
Oh, it counts us? That's interesting.
Yeah, because right now I just clicked participants. It doesn't show me, but it shows you and Bourbon Rendezvous. If you click over on the live chat, the 3 dots, and then click participants, it should probably show me and Bourbon Rendezvous.
Where am I? I'm clicking the wrong thing here.
You know where it says like live chat with the down arrow? If you go over to the 3 dots on the right and you click it, it'll say participants. You have to do it on YouTube. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm on StreamYard, so I'm like, what the heck?
The fuck are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. So StreamYards is wrong. It's showing 2. Stanley's not even here right now. You're imaginary.
Okay. All right. Well, I will be in a second. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right, bye.
We'll talk later.
Bye.
So now it's just me and you, Ron. You have my exclusive attention. That's not the right word. Whatever the thing is. Yeah, man. So here, let me scroll back up to your list here because we didn't really get to chat about me and Stanley were talking there. Oh yeah. So actually, while I'm scrolling up, so yeah. So on this comment, now I do like some country music. More like Travis Tritt, Cash, obviously, Chris Stapleton, Jamie Johnson. Of course, Charlie's Daniels Band. You got some good ones. more like, I guess, what you would call maybe like outlaw country, or some of it's kind of more like rock country, kind of a mix of those things. You know, and like Chris Stapleton, what I like from him is primarily like the stuff that's not on the radio. There's not much that's been on the radio from Chris Stapleton that I really enjoy. Yeah, most of his stuff that I really like is kind of his B-sides, I guess, more of his bluesy stuff. And Travis Tritt, again, a lot of the stuff I like from him is not stuff that gets played on the radio a whole lot. Like, for instance, like Where Corn Don't Grow, that's a good one. I guess I did get played on the radio, but very little. His cover of Long Haired Country Boy that he did at, where was that at? It was one of his concerts. That is a phenomenal cover of that song, which is, of course, a Charlie's Daniels Band cover. Here's a Quarter. That's a classic. Just kind of, you know, telling a woman to shove it. You got to have that song in your life. Chris Stapleton, probably my favorite song from him is Outlaw State of Mind. Yeah, that's a good one. Alan Jackson, he's okay. Not really one of my favorites. Yeah, Keith Whitley, again, kind of okay. I mean, so the cowboy hat, as far as, because, you know, cowboy hats have been a part of my life for a long time. And I've never really talked about this on a stream of my own, I don't think a whole lot. I'm usually on other people's streams when I talk about this. But so the cowboy hat, as far as a style choice, came about when I was fairly young. And it's mainly due to Pantera being from Texas, and Vinnie Paul, and just kind of that influence. You know, a lot of the Pantera artwork had cowboy, usually skeletons. They're wearing cowboy hats. You know, like the classic one is the Cowboys from Hell, where it's a skeleton on a bull. It's also a skeleton with a cowboy hat on. So it's more of like, yeah. So I was born here, lived here till I was 6, and then moved down to Florida, lived in Ocala, which is also horse country, even though most people don't know that. So there was a time period when Ocala, Florida, and Lexington, Kentucky were fighting over the horse capital of the country. And Ocala actually has more horses than Lexington, but because of the Derby, Lexington got the title. But there's actually a lot more horses in Ocala, Florida than there is in Lexington. There's horse farms everywhere. I mean, they're kind of dying off as they are everywhere now, but when I was growing up, there was horse farms everywhere. We worked on horse farms all the time, did all kinds of work for horse farmers. I have saddled plenty of horses. I've roped horses. You know, I've taken horses out of field into their stalls. I've cleaned out stalls. I've been around horses a lot. I've rode plenty of horses. So, I mean, I'm not a true cowboy in the sense that I've never, you know, run cattle or anything like that, but I've been around plenty of real cowboys. In fact, one of my best friends here is a guy that broke broncos for like 20 years and has the scars to show it, and is amazing with horses. I mean, his horse, he can make him do about anything. It's almost magical to watch him with a horse. Like, I mean, just with the slightest of sounds, he can make a horse do all kinds of stuff that you may probably have never seen a horse do. So been around lots of true cowboys. I can't claim to be one myself, but I've done lots of stuff with horses. I really enjoy being around horses. I think they're really cool, and cattle as well. Yeah, basically, yeah, he's basically a horse whisperer. Yeah, I mean, he's been around him his whole life. I mean, like I said, he broke broncos for like 20 years. And now, you know, he's kind of retired from that, but he still has horses, and so he does a lot with them. And yeah, it's a cool culture. I've always liked that kind of roughneck cowboy culture. It's kind of, in some ways, it's just kind of the spirit of the South. It's just like, you're not going to defeat me. I'm going to do what I want, and screw you if you don't like it. That kind of attitude, but at the same time, they're humble and they will do anything for you. So it's a weird combination in a personality, but I've always liked people that were like that they're humble and they'll do anything for you, but at the same time, you cross the line, they'll put you in the dirt. So, but can the horse make burnt ends? Yeah, that's a good question, Stanley. Have a good night, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, but then, the Western shirts, as I was just saying with Stanley, they didn't really come along until this channel really started taking off, and people, and really the white shirt, the white shirt that I'm wearing in the picture that I will be sharing on Patreon, that's kind of what sparked people's interest in the Western shirts, which, is kind of gimmicky, to be fair. Because I don't know any real cowboys that wear those shirts, but it's part of the culture-ish. It's more for show, for sure. But, people seem to like it. It's kind of become my calling card, or whatever you want to call it. So it's okay. I don't mind them. I think they're kind of interesting. I don't wear them a whole lot in my personal life. The cowboy hat stays, but the shirts kind of, whatever. Yeah, and the thing is, it's a lot of the South. Kentucky's very much that way. Tennessee's very much that way. Parts of Georgia, even parts of Florida. Like, when you get into the rurals of Florida, there's a lot of Florida that's that way. In fact, like Ocala is, when I was growing up in Ocala, it was a much smaller town. Now it's kind of blown up, and now it's a lot more metropolitan. And it's basically become a lot more retirement communities than horse farms now, which kind of sucks. But, that is the way of the world. Wherever the money is, I guess. That's a good question. I think, like me and Stanley were talking about, we just got to find new content. We got to find new ways to reach people. And I may still do my video, even though you already got to see it, but I may still do my video on top 5 perfect albums and bourbons to pair with it. Or, well, in this case, whiskeys, really, because Ardbeg's not a bourbon. So I may still do that in a shorter form. Try and make it something that's consumable, just to see what that does. Because I'm trying a lot of new things right now, because, even though the numbers haven't completely stalled, I'm not. What's interesting is that I was gaining more per week, probably, I don't know, a month or two ago. Like, I went from 500 to 750 fairly quickly for a smaller channel. But now going from 750 to 1,000 seems much slower. So, yeah. Yes, absolutely. I'm definitely a Skynyrd fan. One of the first Skynyrd album almost made the cut into my perfect albums. It was really close as well. That's the thing. When you're narrowing it down to 5, that is a tall task, because there's so many things you got to leave out. So I had to think about, like, if I was stuck with only 5 albums and that's all I could listen to, what would I want the 5 to be? And I don't think I could live without any of the 5 I mentioned. I would have to have those albums, because I love them so much. So, like the last one I mentioned, that Sean James album, I listen to it all the time at yeah. YouTube doesn't know what you meant, but I did. YouTube's dumb. That Sean James album, I listen to it probably once a day at work. I love his sound. I think he's underappreciated, and Same with Injustice for All. Like that's such like a key moment in my life. That's why I'm a metalhead now. I mean, so I don't know if I mentioned this. So I did mention the fact that Pantera was certainly part of the influence that led to the cowboy hat, but the other part is certainly Lemmy from Motorhead. Like the first time I saw him, I just thought that is the coolest looking human being I've ever seen in my life. He just and what's interesting about Lemmy is he's not a pretty boy by any means. He's like the opposite of that. He's like rugged and he's got like moles on his face, and he kind of always looked like he just woke up from a hangover and threw some clothes on, but he's still like the most badass guy you've ever seen in your life. And that translated with women, that translated in his music. The guy is just a freaking legend. And he was very popular with the ladies. It's kind of he's kind of infamous for that. And so, yeah, when I was young, I just thought, like, man, like that is the guy. Like that is the guy to be. Like Lemmy was. I mean, he's been one of my idols for a long, long time. So yeah. So that's where the cowboy hat actually comes from. That's why I wear a black cowboy hat rather than the white or tan one that you typically would see in your typical country music video. Is because it's more of a metal thing than it is a country thing. Although, I appreciate Southern and country culture. Most of my neighbors are that, and I love that as well. So it's kind of a blend of the two. Because, I mean, I'm definitely Southern. I mean, I was born in Nowheresville, Kentucky. The town I was born in is called Hyden, Kentucky. Most people have never heard of it and probably never will because it's tiny. And there was a midwife house there. And so my parents drove like a half hour to get there, and that's where I was born. And the town I was living in is also Nowheresville. So, yeah. I grew up in the true South, Nowheresville, Kentucky, towns that no one's ever been to because there's no reason to come here. So, yeah. My 5 would be Pearl Jam 10, Ozzy, Ultimate Sin, Rush, Moving Pictures, Metallica, Master of Puppets, and I'm thinking of the last one, so many to choose. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Narrowing it down to 5 is tough. Okay, yeah, Rainbow, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would dispute any of those 5. Like that's the thing. There's so many great albums that, I mean, as I said when I started this stream, is I could really do just 5 Metallica albums, and I would be okay with that. There's not much diversity there. It's all Metallica. It's all metal. But I mean, I wouldn't be, if that's all I could listen to the rest of my life, that's okay. If all I had was Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master Puppets, and Justice for All in Black, I'm okay with that. That's fine. Although, if Andy was here, he'd probably curse me out, but I don't know. I might switch either Black or Kill 'Em All for Garage because I really love Garage. Mainly because it's like your favorite band's favorite bands. And plus I love there's so many songs on so many covers on there that I love, like Die My Darling, Last Caress, Lover Man, it's late in the night and whiskey's happening. So there's Astronomy is on there. Let me get up the track list here. Garage is such an underrated album. Like everybody crapped on it when it first came out. And like that introduced me to so many other bands. So thank you, Metallica. Yeah, I love Garage. I think it's a great album. People can give it crap all they want, but Whiskey in a Jarro is not one of them. That's not one of the ones I want to listen to, but it is on there. That's probably my least favorite. Turn the Page. Yeah, I mean, that's a classic Seeger song. Gotta love that. Let's see here. Yeah, even the opening track, Free Speech for the Dumb, is good. Loverman, Astronomy, Tuesday's Gone. Although I don't love their cover, but it's decent. Let's see. Last Caress, Green Hell. Yeah. Crash Course in Brain Surgery, Am I Evil, Blitzkrieg, Bread Fan, Stone Cold. Oh man, I forgot. Stone Cold Crazy is on there. That is, oh my god, I love their cover of Stone Cold Crazy, and that's one of my favorite Queen songs. So good. Damage Case. Let's see here. Yeah, that's a great album. I wouldn't say all of them are perfect songs. I could not make that claim, but I love Garage. Yes, Statue of Lemmy for sure. Black is so commercial, but man, Justice for All, wow. Yeah, Garage was Green Hell. So many, yeah. It is, man. And you know what? Just because I can, I'm going to play some Last Caress. Because I love Metallica's cover of Last Caress. It's just, it's one of my favorite songs to listen to, and it's short. It's just this short little magical thing. Where's the live I want? Is it this one? There it is. This is when they were still youngins. I'm sure YouTube is going to give me some freaking. Oh no, they didn't. Okay, perfect. They're going right into it. Let me skip here. What the crap? Okay, I skipped ahead, and then I did get an ad. What the hell? Okay, here we go. Let's share it properly. Whoever's watching this, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. I know Ron's here. Appreciate you, man. It says there's another person here, but I can't see you. If you are here, then I hope you enjoy this because it's phenomenal.
You want to hear that?
This may kill the stream, but I don't care.
Or not play something you want.
Anything with devil or Satan in it is good.
What?
Look at them when they were still young.
I got something to say. I got no baby today.
You're much to me as long as she's dead. Something to say. Your mother today. Much to me as long as she's bred. That's chorus. You know what, Ron? If it's all right with you, I think I'm just going to end on this high note because I don't think there's anything else I could do that's better than this. So I'm going to let it play out. And thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Ron, for hanging with me. Appreciate you, man. I know it's late your time as well. And that's awesome. And good night, folks. No better way to end than Metallica.